NerdyNeo on the mic tells a story. Open mic, a world of digital glory. Talking quests and pixelated dreams. Gamers journey on the mainstream. Open mic with a gaming twist. Press start and raise your fist. From consoles all to new. Every game a brand new crew. Week by week a new guest appears. Sharing love for gaming through the years. Button mashing tales of late night kills. Level up, adrenaline thrill. Open mic with a gaming twist. Press start and raise your fist. From consoles old to new. Every game a brand new crew. From pixel art to high-def screens. Open worlds and cutscenes. These questions deep they go. Discovering every game in tow.
Hello, everyone. Good evening and happy Thursday to you. It is time for another open mic, and this is one that's been a long time in the making. So let's go ahead and bring in our guest tonight, JHitman. What's up, Hitman? How's it going?
How's it going? So pumped to be here. Thanks for having me. This has been in the works for a while, and I'm glad it actually worked out. So
yeah, I'm glad finally able to make it happen. Filter was on top 5 on Tuesday night, and we were talking backstage afterwards. And he's like, "So yeah, I see Hitman's finally on open mic." I'm like, "Yep." He's like, "Well, you have to give him a lot of crap." I'm like, "Oh, I intend to."
well, good, because he wouldn't be doing his part if he didn't say that.
So good to get you on because for anyone who isn't familiar with JHitman, he is Fractured Filter's co-host on Saturday Night Sith, and I'm usually there. And if I don't catch it live, I always watch the replay. And there was an episode that you guys did a while back, and I was like, I got to get JHitman on open mic. So I sent him a message on August 29th, so 2024, so a year ago tomorrow. And he replied back to me 2 days later, and then I didn't hear back from him again until 4 days ago.
I think it's fitting. I think that's pretty great timing, honestly. A year in the works, and then finally we get to do it.
So after a year of waiting, it's finally happening, and we get to talk some video games. And one thing, I'm not sure if he knows, but I know about him, is that he is also Xbox Supremacy Team.
I absolutely.
So I say that kind of jokingly. I know you're a big fan of Xbox. That's my platform of choice. I'm not all about the console wars. So it's like you like play on PlayStation or Switch or whatever. That's fine by me. But I prefer Xbox. But jokingly, I'll say Xbox Supremacy.
Yeah,
and I know you're on board.
Many battles have been fought over the whole Xbox and PS5, wars, and I feel bad for just people who play PS5 because they don't understand what true gaming is all about, And then then they come back and say, "Oh, well, how's it feel to have your beloved games come on our console?" And I'm like, "Well, that's because you can't come up with any good games. You just have Spider-Man. That's it."
So for me, it's like I don't care if they go over the other platforms. If it's on my platform of choice, that's all that matters.
Right.
So because there are a few PlayStation exclusives that I would like to play, and almost all of them have come to Steam, so I can now play them on my PC.
Right.
So the things that I was going to get a PlayStation for, I don't even really need to anymore. So
right.
But similar thing with like a lot of the Xbox exclusives are also coming to PC. So if you had PlayStation and PC, you could play all the Xbox game stuff as well. But as long as the stuff that I like is still on Xbox as well, then it doesn't matter to me if it goes to other platforms.
I just can't. It's funny you bring this up because I recently was I was playing on a PS5, and their controllers are the most uncomfortable control. Like, I don't think I've ever held such an uncomfortable controller like the PS5 controller. Like, I felt like after playing Call of Duty for 15 minutes, I thought I had carpal tunnel. I need to go to the ER and have my wrists amputated.
I've only
terrible.
played a PlayStation, like any form of PlayStation, a handful of times. The longest time I spent playing any PlayStation was over at a friend's house, maybe about a decade ago for his birthday party. He had a PS3 and he had, I think it was Modern Warfare 2. And so I played some Modern Warfare 2 over at his party. And for like an hour or two. And that's literally the longest I ever played a PlayStation. And I don't remember the controller, being uncomfortable, but it was funny given that I had never really played a PlayStation before, and I picked up the PS3 controller and I owned all of them at Call of Duty. I had played Call of Duty on Xbox, but I hadn't played on PlayStation, and I beat them all on my first time ever playing a PlayStation. But the amount of hours I've spent playing a PlayStation is like in the single. I could count the number of hours on one hand. So
I will expose myself. I actually owned a PS4, and I bought that console solely for Destiny. Destiny is what has ruined. Well, I mean, let's be honest, PlayStation was just crap before Destiny, but Destiny really ruined the whole PlayStation experience because did you ever play Destiny?
Yeah, I haven't played Destiny 2, but Destiny 1 is my single most hours in a single game.
Okay. Well, what's funny is you would wait, and they would have these events, right, where you get like rare orbs, and the buddy of mine at the time that I was playing with, our nickname for each other was Rick. Anyways, but we would go to these events where you were supposed to get the potential to get rare orbs, and every single time we would do this stuff, we would get white and green orbs. So the running joke was like, it's a green.
The engrams. Okay.
Yeah. I'd be like, it's a green orb, Rick, and so I just it just that, and I like the game starting out, but like I just it was the event stuff and the engrams and whatever. It just ruined it for me. So
okay.
Who came out? I was like, nope, not doing it.
What about because Destiny was on Xbox and PlayStation. Was there anything specific to the PlayStation version of Destiny that ruined it for you? Because games are essentially the same.
Well, okay, so funny thing, I did not know at the time because I've had Xbox since, my goodness, since Halo. I think I played was it a Counter-Strike on the PC? Mm-hmm. And then when Halo came out, that's when I had got an Xbox, but I didn't know that Destiny was on the Xbox, funny enough. And that's why, because I was at a buddy's house, and we were playing after work, and I was like, oh man, this amazing game. He was like, it's PlayStation. And so I think he may have, in a roundabout way, just didn't like Xbox. And so he probably told me that, like, hey, it's only on PlayStation to get me to buy a PlayStation, probably is what happened. But I didn't know it was on Xbox. So that's why I went out and I bought a PlayStation 4. I think at the time they weren't. I don't know if PlayStation had the Play Store at that time. Maybe they did, where you had to pay to play.
So Destiny 1 launched on PS3 and 360 in September of 2014, and however. So it sounds like since you played on PS4 first, it was not at launch. It was years later.
Yeah.
Because the 360 version of Destiny is not actually backwards compatible, so you can't play the 360 version of Destiny on like an Xbox One.
Oh, interesting.
You got a free upgrade to Xbox One. I don't know if they did the same thing on PS3 to PS4, and actually had a separate achievement list. But once you loaded it up, so I basically had almost all the achievements, and then I upgraded to an Xbox One. And when I downloaded the Xbox One version of Destiny 1, it auto popped all the achievements I already had. So there is two separate versions of it. So I'm assuming probably the same it was probably the same for PlayStation.
Yeah.
However, one thing that was really annoying in Destiny is that PlayStation got timed exclusive content, and it happened like 2 or 3 times. And it's like, if it was for like a couple of months, like 2 or 3 months, that wouldn't really bother me. Every time they did console exclusive content for PlayStation, it was for a whole year before that content came to the Xbox version. So that might have been why he led you to play the PlayStation version, because you would get all the bonus content basically on day one, so you have to wait a year to play it. Down
that
the line
would
on
make
the Xbox
sense.
side.
Yeah.
So,
And
did you ever play it on Xbox or did you only play it on
no,
PlayStation?
no, just PlayStation.
Oh,
Yeah,
bummer. Okay,
yeah,
because I still have one achievement left in Destiny for completing the final raid of the final DLC on the heroic difficulty. So
yeah.
I haven't really looked for getting a group together, but I'm looking for people to do that at some point. I know, dude, he plays it on basically.
I
Or he
would. I
plays it
mean,
on everything.
if somebody told me or reassured me, like, hey, they have patched all the ridiculousness that had gone. I guess the only thing I could really complain about was like what you said, the engrams or whatnot. But if someone said like they've patched it, it's amazing. Like I would go back and play it. Not on PlayStation. I'd obviously get for Xbox, but
Nice.
those were the glory days, man. Like I remember it was Destiny and Diablo
Okay.
3.
Never got into Diablo, but I did
Oh
love
man,
Destiny.
yeah. Well, Fractured and I will argue all the time. The best Diablo's 3, Reaper of Souls.
Interesting.
The
Okay, I know a lot of people
Necromancer.
are big, prefer 2, but I've never played any of them, so I don't know.
Yeah, I never played 2. I think I may have played a little bit of it, but 3 was my jam, man. But those were the days where gaming was just, it was just fun to game, man. It felt like in this day and age, it's hard to come out with good games, good content now.
Yeah, AAA definitely has, definitely gone downhill. So, before we continue, I do want to say hi to a couple people seeing chat. I see dudes over on Rumble saying howdy, good evening, dude, and filters there saying chat, smash the like button. I appreciate that. I'll be back for the sweet replay. Have fun, guys. All right. Dude says that. Oh, yeah. So top 5 on Tuesday night, we did top 5 favorite N64 games, and dude and filter were both on that panel, and he says it was fun to participate in that one. That was a lot of fun. And he says, yeah, modern Microsoft has games worth playing. Exclusives, no, but there are definitely Microsoft published games that are worth playing. My number one is Ori. I love those games. But PS3 had free online play. That's right. That's another thing, is that in order to play online on Xbox, you did have to subscribe to Xbox Live Gold, where PS3 you could play for free. That has changed a little bit now, in that you can play free-to-play games on Xbox now without a subscription. But if it's not a free-to-play game, then you do still have to have what used to be Xbox Live Gold is now like Game Pass Core in order to play online. So, yeah, and I know dude's a big fan. He played a lot of Destiny, but he's in the Warframe camp now. So, I haven't played much of Warframe. I've played a few minutes of it, but it's something I will be getting into at some point. Have you ever touched Warframe?
No. Is it good?
I can't say, but it's been around. I think it might have come out before. I'm pretty sure dude told me it came out slightly before Destiny, and it's a similar gameplay loop. So they're similar in a lot of aspects. So they're kind of competing games, but it's entirely free to play, and the devs have been really good about. Like, there is stuff you can spend money on if you want to, but you absolutely don't need to spend a dime in order to play the game.
So like pay to play type platform.
It's not like a pay to win. There's even
Pay to win. I mean, yeah.
Dude even told me that there was something that they implemented in the game to spend money on, like recurringly, and people were spending so much money on it, they took the feature out of the game.
No, that's so interesting. Bring that up because I heard there was this guy. So in Diablo, there's a mobile version of it, and this guy had spent, I'll get the exact number wrong, but somewhere up into the thousands of dollars just to get like content and stuff, and then like he lost everything or something, like the app had crashed or like something had happened. But that's why like I'm not a fan of like the whole pay to play. Like I just think it's a sham, honestly.
Yeah, the amount of, I've spent plenty of money on like DLCs, like additional
different. Yeah,
story content, but like microtransactions, I spent probably $10 in my life on microtransactions.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I will sit here. I'm a hypocrite, man, because I've definitely I don't play Call of Duty much anymore, but like I've bought skins. Like they came out with the Boys skin, and not that I'm a super fan of Garth Ennis, the comic writer who created the Boys, but I
was like, who's that?
Yeah, he's the writer who created the Boys, but I've bought microtransactions, like stuff like that, but DLC, I have a love-hate relationship with it because like, did you ever play Elden Ring at all?
I've started it. I've got the first achievement, but so
God
I will be
bless you.
playing through it, but I haven't done it done much of it yet. I played it for
It
like an
is.
hour.
It is a grind, man. I hate the whole. It's so complicated. It's not complicated, but it's like it's like you can lose your runes. So if you get killed, you lose some of your runes, and then you go back and you can, if you, what is it? You can win them back, but like you get killed again, then like you lose half. Like,
You
man, I
lose it
spent,
all, yeah.
oh, guy, I spent hours, man. There's this guy, within probably the first couple hours of the game, it's like I'll get it wrong.
Is it
It's right.
Margot?
It's the night guy that you have to kill, the big like guy with the big sword. And I remember I spent hours. I probably spent 4 to 5 hours just killing this guy over and over, or trying to kill him over and over again to just level up and get runes and everything. And I have a love-hate relationship with that game, man. Like, and the map is insanely like
It's huge.
big. But they can't. Where I was going with this is they recently, I think, came out with DLC for it, and I've been on the fence of like, okay, like, do I spend the money for this DLC or not? And
Oh, you're talking about the Erdtree DLC?
yes,
Because that's been out for probably about a year now.
Has it? Okay.
But it's a big DLC. It's, if I remember correctly, it's $40, which is over half the price of the game.
Oh yeah, if not more. But
and another thing that From Software does is they do add DLC to their games, but they don't add any additional achievements. So for achievement hunters like Dude and I, there's no incentive to play those DLCs.
Yeah. Did you get the DLC for Elden Ring?
I don't have it. I don't plan to. If they were to add achievements for it, then I would play the DLC. But since there's no achievements for it, I probably won't.
Is that so? This is a gaming question. Do they include achievements within DLC?
Typically, it's up to the developer though.
Right.
But most games, when they release DLC, add additional achievements to the game. Not always. Like From Software is the prime example. They typically don't.
Yeah, which is so odd that they would not do that for Elden, because I mean Elden Ring, that was a huge game. Like I remember there was a big following. Like if you're an Elden or Dark, is it dark? Not Dark Souls, is it?
Yeah, well, the first one was Demon Souls. That's what was what really put them on the map for that. That's basically the first one of the Souls-like that kind of started that subgenre. Have you played any of the other Souls-like games besides Elden Ring?
No, but I tell you what,
I didn't think so.
No, but I would be very
remiss
if I didn't try to get into them, because I haven't heard any. I've heard it's kind of down the like a dividing line. There's more. I've heard more positive towards the Dark Souls than I have negative. But I tell you what, people who are negative about it, they are negative about it. Which is interesting, because I think I like the platform. I like the feel of kind of the Dark Soul games. So
interesting. Okay, because so dude here in chat, he's huge. He loves the Dark Souls games, just From Software in general. And we started about this time last year, maybe July or August, and we started doing Dude Souls because he's a big fan of it, and I hadn't played it. So he kind of coached me through Dark Souls, the first one. Because there's a lot of like very cryptic like quests and stuff, so he was kind of guiding me, and it's all on stream if you wanted to go back and watch it. And it was painful. The 1 hour I've played of Elden Ring I liked better than the 60 hours I played of Dark Souls 1.
Really? What about it?
So
is it the achievements?
No, so gameplay wise,
okay.
Elden Ring is a little bit faster paced. Dark Souls is very slow paced. Every time you swing, it's like it takes forever till you can like dodge or swing again. I like a faster paced game.
I see.
And one of the other big things is that in Dark Souls, when you use a flask, you cannot move for like 5 seconds. So being able to use it and not get hit when you're in the middle of a battle you have to time it like perfectly. Elden Ring, you can use your flask, and you can't still run at full speed, but you can still move and use your flask at the same time. So those are the two biggest things of why I like Elden Ring better than after 1 hour than like 60 plus hours of Dark Souls.
Right. So here's the most important question I'll probably ask you of the stream really quick. When you did Elden Ring, because I got a lot of crap for it, what class did you choose?
I think I did Samurai.
Did you?
Is that a
See,
class?
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah. It's
I
the
love
same.
katanas and ninjas and samurai, so
Okay.
that's probably what I'm pretty sure I started with.
I did the magician. I think is what the sorcerer, the magician. I got so much crap because from actually my boss, because he was playing at the same time. He's like, uh, basically, there's no strategicness between magician. You're just able to use the magic, and I'm like, you don't have like an unlimited amount of magic. Everybody who wants to crap on like magic folk, like you don't have like just an insane amount of arcane power that you do have to be strategic with. I remember
I
an
haven't
elder
done a magic build, so I don't know what it's
really.
like.
Oh, you should if you ever get back in, like if you get back into it, because it is harder. Those damn tree guys, man. Like I don't have a fire whip, I don't have a fire spell, so like I couldn't get past the tree. I don't even know what they call it, but like I would just get pwned by these guys.
Pwned. I haven't heard that word in a long time.
Oh yeah, man. Like and then there's these when you go to the castle, I think down south, the freaking monkey trolls that remind me of Wizard of Oz, man. Golly, I don't think I've ever really rage quit in my gaming career, but like those monkey troll things push me to the edge of just like shutting off my game.
Yeah, similar. I my playthrough. So like what was it? I want to say it was like 12 streams to get through Dark Souls. And like the first 5, like I hated like every second of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 12 till I finally beat it. The second half of the game, with the exception of like one of the streams, was a lot better.
Yeah.
So I ended up not hating the game entirely. I still don't like it, but I don't hate it like I did going into it.
What are your thoughts? Well, really quick, can I just give you a shout out? Thank you so much for having Marcus Phoenix and Sam Fisher on the bottom left corner
of
the
my
screen.
background.
Those are my two favorite two of my favorite games including obviously Outcast, but Splinter Cell, absolutely bar none fantastic. Probably one of the greatest franchises of all time. Next to obviously Gears of War is going to be my favorite. But, yeah, it's awesome that you have those two.
All right, sweet. Well, we'll definitely get to those then. Yeah. So if you were coming from Elden Ring, I think it'll be tough going back to Dark Souls 1. I've not played Dark Souls 2 or 3, so I can't say anything about them, but I have 100% of Dark Souls 1. I have all the achievements. And I don't know if you would like it. So
go back. What are your thoughts on Skyrim then? Did you play? I'll probably pronounce it wrong. Skyrim or Skyrim? Is it Skyrim?
It is Skyrim. And yeah, you see him right there, Dovahkiin right there next to Phoenix. Yeah, I love Skyrim.
Is it a much faster paced game than opposed to Dark? It's not a Dark Souls game, right?
No, it's very, very different. Because Dark Souls is like a slow-paced hack and slash with RPG elements. Skyrim is an RPG with hack and slash mechanics, if that makes any sense.
Okay, yeah.
That's another thing is Dark Souls and Elden Ring. They don't have difficulty settings. There's just one difficulty. Skyrim has a whole bunch of different difficulty settings, so you can crank it up, and still at its hardest difficulty, it's still not typically that difficult.
Yeah.
But so they're not really comparable in my opinion. But I love Oblivion and Skyrim. I love the crap out of those games.
I've not played Oblivion, and I had the opportunity to get Skyrim. It was on sale, and I ended up passing it by just because I didn't know a lot about it. But I've heard a lot of people have played it and have heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, it's very different. But if you like RPGs, like like I said, Dark Souls, it has like RPG mechanics, but it would be more of like an action RPG, whereas Skyrim is like an actual like full-fledged RPG.
It's a proper RPG.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you like that kind of stuff, you'll probably like Skyrim. The combat is way more basic than like Dark Souls. It's not like you have to really like worry about like. Another thing is, in as far as I know, all the Souls game, but I know for a fact in Dark Souls 1, when you pause the game to go into the menu, the game doesn't pause, so you can't.
That's terrible. Are you serious?
Literally? So Yeah, I am serious. So you can't be in the middle of a fight and like pause it. You have to either die or beat the fight. Otherwise, if you pause it, you're going to get killed because you're just standing there and the game is still going on around you. But in order to like the counter to that is that since it is like pseudo open world, enemies have like aggro ranges where so if you don't get within range of them, then they won't come and get you. You have to basically go engage with them. So you don't typically have to worry about, pausing and getting killed as long as there's no enemies nearby.
Yeah. That's
the only safe place is the bonfires. You don't have to worry about getting killed at a bonfire.
Interesting. That's tough because there's definitely been times where that pause menu has saved my butt fighting some bosses.
Whereas Skyrim, when you hit B there is an actual pause, but you hit B to pull up like your inventory and cycle through like your notes and your map and stuff. It freezes everything. So you could be in the middle of a swing, pause, and use a bunch of potions and eat a bunch of stuff, and then unpause and finish your swing. So
I like that. I mean, the question is that considered? Do people consider that cheating then? That you're using a pause? Yeah,
because it doesn't. It doesn't really like whatever was going to happen is still going to happen.
Right.
I guess unless you're maybe you go to swing and then apply a poison to your blade. But that's actually a good strategy because poisons typically only work for the first contact with an enemy.
Yeah.
So if you just apply a poison to your blade, you may not actually want to use that until you come across like a more powerful enemy. You may not want to use that on some basic enemy that's not going to, that will not cause you any issues or anything. So I wouldn't think anyone would consider that cheating. So, but I love Skyrim, so I would recommend it. But on the topic of like more on the hack and slash side of things, like I am a big fan of hack and slash games. So one of let's see here, may not be able to see him with our he's on there somewhere, but you can't see him with our windows up. But one of my favorite franchises of all time is Ninja Gaiden, the more modern ones. I haven't played the original ones on NES, but I love the modern Ninja Gaidens. And so I'm a big fan of like hack and slash games. Another thing that Dark Souls has going against it in my book is that when Dark Souls became like a thing and became a super popular genre, it basically co-opted the hack and slash genre, and we've barely gotten any hack and slash games. With the exception of like the Dynasty Warriors types, but that's like a different subgenre of hack and slash games. I'm talking more so like Ninja Gaiden, probably the only other big one to name, and that was still a 360 game, was Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. So stuff like that. The Lords of Shadows games, those would count. Those were also 360 games. So we've basically got almost none of those since Dark Souls really kind of, swept the rug out from underneath, proper hack and slash games. That's another reason why I'm a little partial against Dark Souls games, because I love hack and slash games. So when Ninja Gaiden got announced that it was being revived this year, I was over the moon excited. So I cannot wait for Ninja Gaiden 4.
So if you're a hack and slash, did you, not to get you off, but what are your thoughts on like Devil May Cry franchise?
I've always wanted to get into them because I always thought they looked cool, but I just have never played any of them.
Okay.
So I want to, I just don't know if I ever will. I have some of them. I don't know which ones I have, but I have the Devil May Cry HD collection. I think it's 1, 2, and 3 are in that bundle, but I'm not sure. I just got it when I bought my Xbox secondhand. They gave me all their games, and that was one of them. But yeah, so
like, was it up to 5 Devil May Cry? Like how many? I forget how many games they actually have out now.
There's 1, 2, 3. I think there's one called DMC Devil May Cry. I think that was number 4, but no, I think there was Devil May Cry 4. And dude knows because he's a huge fan of the Devil May Cry games as well. He'll probably clear it up for me. But I know that there's DMC 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't know if there was a numbered 5, or maybe that was the one that was DMC Devil May Cry, and it's technically the 5th game, but it doesn't have 5 in the name. But so I'm a big fan of Ninja Gaiden, and Dude's a big fan of Dark Souls, so he coached me through Dark Souls, and then he had never played Ninja Gaiden, so after we finished that, he went through and played Ninja Gaiden for the first time. He's still working his way through it very slowly, but he is not a fan of it, and I love it. So it's kind of funny the flip flop where he loves Dark Souls and I don't, and I love Ninja Gaiden and he doesn't.
The Ninja Gaiden, where did that original launch from? Was
the
it
original, there was 1, 2, and 3 on the NES back in the 80s, and then it rebooted on the original Xbox as an Xbox exclusive.
I'm pulling it up right now.
And then Ninja Gaiden 2 was an exclusive for 360, and then they released Ninja Gaiden 1 and the rebooted Ninja Gaidens, not the classic ones, on PlayStation 3 as Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1 and 2 with additional content that the original releases didn't have on Xbox, but they took stuff out of it as well. So most of the purists say play the original versions, not the Sigma versions. I haven't played through them yet. I will, but I haven't played through them yet. So,
okay, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and then the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection or Master Ninja Collection has Ninja Gaiden's 1 or has Sigma 1, Sigma 2, and 3 Razor's Edge, and that's available on. I know it's on Xbox and PlayStation. It might be available on Switch. I don't know.
Have you in your time? Have you guys ever done like top 5 or top 10 slasher games, hack and slash games in?
Oh, we have not done that, but I want to put that on my list of. I have a running list of topics for top 5.
Yeah, so top 5. Just curious to see like what you would throw in there. I mean, I remember this wasn't technically a franchise, but one of my, and I don't even know if you really consider this a hack and slash game, but Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, okay, not what I thought you were going to say, but I love that game.
That was a fantastic game, and I love the how you could go in and out of I want to say it's not the Shadow Realm, but the
Shadow Realm.
Oh god, where you can kind of go back and forth within each. But that was a fantastic game.
Did you play Shadow of War?
Is that the second one?
Yeah,
I did not. And here's the thing, and I've kind of said this about movies too. I'm always skeptical when it comes to like second games. Like, are they going to be as good as the first? Right. So I didn't play. I probably should have, but no, I
would say if you liked it, I would say play Shadow of War. I don't. So I have all the achievements in Shadow of Mordor. I still have probably like 5 or 6 achievements left in Shadow of War because the last few are like really big grinds and just take a long time. So I haven't gone back and done those. But I liked Shadow of Mordor more than Shadow of War, but Shadow of War is still a good game.
Okay.
I played it after because it was they really botched the launch with the microtransactions. It was like loaded with microtransactions. Yeah. I didn't play it after they took that all out, and so I didn't have any issues with it since they already took that crap out before I started playing it. But yeah, so I've done the full. I've gotten all the achievements in the original Xbox One launch of Shadow of Mordor. The Game of the Year edition, it's the exact same game. It just has the DLC bundled in. So I did both of them because I really like that game. And I have the 360 version. I haven't played it yet because I was like, I'll go and play that game for achievements again. I love that game.
Some of those achievements, man, it's like you start it and they're just so hard to get in. It's like it's almost demoralizing. You spend 3 hours trying to do a single freaking achievement and you're like, I'm done. I can't.
That's
and you come back the next day.
The epilogue of Shadow of Mordor is you have to complete the Shadow Wars, and you basically have to conquer every fortress on the map, and there's like 8 of them. But other orc armies can come and take over the ones that you've already captured. So it's like this ever going game of tug of war. So if you,
I think I do remember that. Yeah.
So
it pissed me off.
My buddy who got me into the Shadow of Mordor and war games, he gave them to me for my birthday one year because he was a big fan of them. He's done that, and he told me that if you lose one of your fortresses, retaking it is so much harder than capturing it the first time. So,
and it's totally randomized, right? Because there's no way that when the orcs attack, it's like it's totally random. They can do whatever fortress they want.
Yes, but you do defend it, so it's not like it's a dice roll. So you are playing it, defending your fortress. But if you end up losing it, it's just a pain in the butt to recapture it. So
they were doing that in the first game, right? Or is that just exclusively the second?
That's just Shadow of War. They don't have that because in Shadow of Mordor, you basically It's been a
But
while
you know
since I
what?
played it.
I
You
think I
can take
did
over
play
like
it.
you take over like individual orcs, but in Shadow of War, you have your entire orc armies.
Okay, that's where I'm getting confused. Okay, so I've just played the first one then, because I do remember you battle individual orcs, and even battling those guys, there was some doozies that like I could not, for the love of me, get past.
That was my biggest complaint with Shadow of War, is that when you get late in the game, some of these orcs have immunity to almost every single type of attack you have, and you can only use like only one of your attacks will actually do damage to them. And you got these. It's not just one-on-one. There's tons of other orcs around
Yeah.
as well. Because you mentioned these when we were talking about hack and slash games. I would not qualify these as hack and slash games
You would
because
not.
the
Okay.
combat is not like a hack and slash game. It's almost identical to like Arkham's combat.
Okay.
So it's
What
more
would
of a
so
beat
what
'em
would you?
up with weapons.
I was gonna say. So what would be the proper definition then of hack and slash?
Like the Dynasty Warrior games definitely count as hack and slash games.
Okay.
That's just a different type of hack and slash game that I don't have anything against it. I haven't played any of them. It's just it doesn't really like appeal to me. Like my favorite type of hack and slash is like Metal Gear Rising or the Ninja Gaiden games or Castlevania
Okay.
Lords of Shadow, stuff like that, where it's you and maybe like a few like 5 to 10 enemies at a time in like enclosed arenas, and then once you beat them, then you move on like to the next area. Whereas like Dynasty Warriors, it's like hundreds and hundreds of enemies across like a huge open map. So,
What are your thoughts on Bayonetta?
so yes, the Bayonetta, I've only played the first one, but I have done it
Okay.
twice. I haven't played 2 or 3, but I do plan to play them eventually. Now that I have a
You
Switch,
like- yeah.
because I did, they're exclusive to Switch, and I never didn't even have a Switch until last
Yeah.
year. But I do like Bayonetta. It does qualify as a hack and slash, but it's kind of like
Barely.
on the edge of that,
Yeah.
since you don't typically even hold weapons, and the weapons that you do use are more of like you do have guns on your, you have guns, you hold guns, and you have guns on your feet, but your like actual like hack and slash weapons, since you do have like swords and stuff, are more like spectral weapons. They're not like physical weapons. And you do a lot more of like magical attacks than you do like actual like hack and slash, but it definitely is in that same genre of
Right.
hack and
It
slash. that I
technically
do
falls
like.
under it, but it's not what you would consider like a proper hack and slash.
Exactly. It qualifies. I don't think of it as like a prime example, but it is a fun game.
Yeah.
So
I have to look into the Ninja Gaiden, because obviously I never played them on the NES, but
I haven't played the NES versions either. They are known for being very difficult. But the Xbox versions, when they rebooted it, are also incredibly difficult. So, in my opinion, they're harder than Dark Souls games, because Dark Souls games are, like I said, they're action RPGs. So you can go and like grind out souls and like level up your character, put points in the stats, and make your equipment better. You can't do that in Ninja Gaiden. It's basically you have
it's
to
just
get
hard.
you have to get good in order to proceed.
Yeah. Which do you prefer? Which would you prefer, like a game just being incredibly hard without like different levels of difficulty, or do you like to tailor the game to like difficulty?
I like the ability to like, and this is why another thing that I think I'm going to like about Elden Ring better than Dark Souls is because Dark Souls, you can go and grind out stuff, but you're kind of, there is like a critical path. Although in Dark Souls 1, it's, so from what dudes told me, like I said, I haven't played Dark Souls 2 or 3, but Dark Souls 2 and 3 are very linear, point A to point B. One of the things that he really like, Dark Souls 1 is his favorite of the Dark Souls games, because Dark Souls is basically a Metroidvania. The only thing that prevents it from being a Metroidvania is ability gating. You don't get any new abilities that allow you to proceed through areas that you couldn't before. But the map is based like a Metroidvania, where you have all these different interconnecting elevators and stuff, and you'll be playing and you'll play 10 hours and go in this way, and then all of a sudden you go up an elevator and you're now back at the shrine where you started the game. So it has this kind of like interconnected map where Dark Souls 2 and 3 don't. So in Dark Souls 1, although you do have a specific place you're supposed to go to proceed the story, if you're having trouble, you can go and grind out kills and get money to level up and stuff. So I do like the ability to do that. In Elden Ring, that's even more pronounced because it's basically like this big open world. And it's like, oh, you can go and fight this boss. And if you're having trouble, it's like, oh, I'll come back to him later and I'll go over here and I'll fight another boss. So I like the freedom to do that. So if I had to pick between the two, I would definitely say more freedom is better than less freedom.
Right.
But I still just like the Ninja Gaiden games way better than the 80 hours I put into Dark Souls.
Right.
I don't think I'm gonna like Elden Ring more than Ninja Gaiden, but I'm almost positive I'm gonna like Elden Ring more than Dark Souls.
That's interesting. And I think I don't know. I don't want to buy a game that's just super easy. If that makes there's got to be a challenge, but like there's also got to be a fine line between that and like I just thought Elden Ring, and maybe I'm just not the best gamer, but man, Elden Ring in my opinion was hard. But again, that was the first game
Souls like you played
that I've ever played. So if I had maybe played other Dark Soul games, maybe I could have been better prepared. But a newbie coming in and playing that, it was a grind for the first, I don't even know what level I got to, but
my impression, given that, like I said, I've only played about an hour of Elden Ring, is that Elden Ring is still difficult, especially if it's your first experience with a Souls-like game. But compared to the Dark Souls games, it's significantly easier.
Oh, see, that's
my impression.
Yeah.
I can't say for certain. Dude would be able to say more so since he's played Elden Ring and all the Dark Souls games.
Makes you not want to play Dark Souls, and if you struggle with Elden Ring, then it's going to be a struggle bus.
Exactly why I hesitate to recommend playing Dark Souls to you if you're having trouble with Elden Ring. If you went to Dark Souls, I have a feeling you'll probably be like, I'd rather be playing Elden Ring.
I'll go
That's
back.
just my guess.
Back to Elden Ring. Yeah.
So, but catching up here on what they've been saying, so dude says he's got over 5,000 hours in Warframe and he doesn't regret it like he does with Destiny. Understandable. The only Soulsborne game with achievements is the DLC. The only Souls-like game with achievements in the DLC was the Xbox One PS4 release of Dark Souls 2. Okay, because Dark Souls, there was DLC in Dark Souls 1 and 3. Obviously, there is in 2 as well, but 1 and 3 didn't have any achievements, but Dark Souls 2 did. So thank you for that. Amin-Ra's here. Moody you, Amin-Ra. Good to see you. He is also a fan of FromSoft. Dude says, I like swinging around the greatsword and being a Guts cosplayer. So do you know who Guts is?
No.
He's from an anime called Berserk, and he has a gigantic sword, kind of like Cloud's sword from Final Fantasy. So dude is a big fan of giant swords, and that's how I played it too when I did Dark Souls, is got a giant sword and put all my points into strength, or not all my points, but a lot of points into strength.
A lot of them.
So that I could do a lot of damage with each hit. You can go with a faster weapon, but you're not going to do anywhere near as much damage. And it does allow you to be faster. But in my opinion, the trade-off for like how much less damage you do for the speed you gain is not worth it. I'd rather do more damage and be slower than do that much less and with a faster weapon.
Kind of like a juggernaut type.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, dude loves Souls games, but I still like spectacle hack. That's a good way to phrase it, is spectacle hack and slash games. There's room for both. Yeah. It's just a bummer that we've basically gotten almost none of them since Dark Souls just, swept the genre essentially. The problem is that spectacle hack and slash games require style, and modern developers don't know what that is. That is an excellent point. Wingus Dingus is here saying, what's up, Wingus Dingus? He said, yes, there are 5. Although dude says there are 6 DMC games, including the reboot, which I think the reboot is DMC Devil May Cry. So I was a little off. But yeah, he's gotten all the Xbox achievements in all 6 because I'm an achievement hunter, and I say I'm a completionist, but dude is much more of a completionist than I am. He's got way more difficult completions than me. And I always give him that credit. And we do a show once a month called Achievement Chasers, where we talk about our achievement hunting for each for what we did in the previous month. So that'll be next Thursday, and we'll be talking about our achievement hunting over the course of August. And dude says, besides the reboot, the other games are correctly numbered. Oh, talking about Devil May Cry and Lowest Expectations here. What is up? And Wiga says Bayonetta is badass. Yes, Bayonetta is awesome. And like I said, I've only played the first one, but I've seen her look in the other 2, And her look in the first one is by far the best because she's got really long hair, and they chopped her hair off in 2 and 3, and she doesn't look as hot in those. They may play. I don't know how they play though, but she's much hotter in the first one, in my opinion. So, all right. So, sound like you started off with the original Xbox back in the Halo days. Is that right?
Oh yeah, I think I've had. Well,
And
yeah,
you've
I
had
know
every
that
Xbox since.
I have. I even had the Star Wars did a special edition Xbox. I had the
360.
Yep, the R2D2.
Okay, I remember that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Nice.
So the only one I don't have the newest one, the X.
Oh, you don't have the Series X.
I don't have the I don't have the.
Oh,
well,
okay.
Not yet. That's obviously it will be dependent on what Xbox releases. I don't know if I haven't even heard if they're going to be releasing. I'm sure they will.
There's rumors, but there's nothing announced for new hardware with the like home hardware. There has been the announcement of the ROG Ally X, which is basically the competitor to the Steam Deck, but for like an actual console like hardware. There's been nothing announced yet for the next generation.
Yeah, I did. That's funny. That was going to be one of the topics that we had talked about, but I don't know if I will get it or not. I was so terrified to go to computer gaming just because anytime I heard somebody like playing a cross-platform game, I heard the clicking, I would instantly leave the room because I knew I was going to get just eviscerated. But
people are all about like PC master race, but there are definitely some advantages to playing on console.
Right. But you bring up the Steam Deck, and that, I am more apt to buy a Steam Deck than I would be like the new Switch 2. But this Xbox console or the hand console, whatever,
the
I'm
ROG Ally X.
Yeah, the ROG.
I want to get one. It won't be anytime soon, but I would like to get one at some point.
No, but I'm in between. It's like I'm loyal to I'm loyal to Xbox, Microsoft. I would, but I'm just curious how it competes with the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck I think has like 3 different levels or models that you could get.
I think it's I haven't really looked into them like deeply, but I don't think that any of the models, I think they're all the same like power. It's basically phones where you can buy them with different size hard drives, but it does have expandable, so you can put in SD cards and give it more storage.
But you just have different amounts of RAM, I would assume.
The only thing the only major difference between I know for a fact that there are 2 different Steam Decks, and I don't believe there's any difference in the power. The one thing that I do know for a fact though is that the second generation, if you even want to call it that, is the OLED, so it has a nicer screen.
Okay.
But the power behind it, I believe, is the same. I could be wrong since I haven't really looked into it deeply, so I can't say. But I know that there's got the OLED has a better screen. I don't think it has any more additional power than the original version. And the Steam Deck has been around for a couple of years now,
right?
So the ROG Ally X, is made by ROG or ROG, which is Republic of Gamers, is probably gonna be more powerful than a Steam Deck, unless the Steam Deck does come out with a new, more powerful version. But if you were going to get one of these, I would say the ROG Ally is the one to go with, because you can play all of your, not everything on Xbox. You can play most of an Xbox library as well as your entire Steam library. You can do both.
Real. So they're well, I won't say cross compatible is probably the right term, but whatever you have on Steam, you can play on the ROG.
So yes. And basically, so the ROG Ally runs on Windows. So any Windows-based platform like Steam or Epic or GOG, you can run them all on the ROG Ally. The Steam Deck runs on Linux. So if you can put Windows on it, but like I said, I've not looked into this terribly deeply. But I know it is possible to put Windows on it, but you basically have to dual boot. So if you are playing a Steam game and you're like, oh, I want to go play some of my games that I own on the Windows/Xbox store, you have to reboot it into Windows mode. And then you're playing, you can have access to it, but you're still running like a full desktop OS on this little screen. So it's not optimized for being a handheld. And that's what the ROG Ally is going to do, is optimize to be, it's running on Windows, but it's optimized to basically just be there for playing games. So you don't have to worry about little tiny on-screen keyboards and having troubles like mapping your stuff. It's supposed to be completely optimized to playing Windows games on a handheld. And you can you don't have to dual boot and switch between different operating systems to switch over to playing Steam games since it runs on Windows.
So what I'm hearing, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you would be more willing to go to the ROG than you would a Steam Deck.
For me, absolutely. Since I have such a huge library on Xbox, for me, definitely. If you don't have anything on Xbox and you don't care about Xbox, and you have a huge Steam library, then there's not really any reason to switch over. But if you have some of both, like I've been growing my Steam library since I have a gaming quality PC now for a couple of years. So I've been slowly building a Steam library. It's dwarfed by my Xbox library because my Xbox library is probably around 1,500 games. My Steam library is probably around 100.
Oh wow!
But it's still a decent sized Steam library. So for me, I would definitely want to go with a ROG Ally because that's the easiest way to play both.
Yeah.
And I also have a decent sized GOG and Epic library because if you have Prime Gaming, I just go and redeem all the games every week, even if I have zero intention of ever playing them, because the more access, the better. So on the ROG Ally, I would have access to all of those games as well, and that's probably a few hundred more games.
After having this conversation, I will probably need to be looking into the ROG versus Steam Deck because I was very close to pulling the trigger on getting the Steam Deck. And I mean, like going full. Like if you're going to do it, you're going to go full out and get the top model just because, like, in my mind, the most memory is probably the best option, right? I don't know if they have expandable hard drives on a handheld console, but
they typically do. You can put in additional storage with like a micro SD. So I would be shocked if they didn't. The one thing I will mention as not a word of caution, but just another thing to take into account is still nothing on this front has been announced, but it's been heavily, heavily, heavily rumored. So it's might as well be confirmed, but just take it with a grain of salt. Is Xbox is planning on adding the ability to play your Steam games on your Xbox. So I'll be able to play my Steam games on my Xbox, on my TV, in my family room, rather than sitting here at my desk and playing them. So that may also be like, oh, I don't need a Steam Deck because I never go anywhere, but I want to be able to play my Steam games on my TV. You'll probably be able to do that soon. If not this hardware generation, most likely the next hardware generation. But if you did get a ROG Ally, it's almost guaranteed that they'll have some sort of dock. So you could plug the dock in your TV, put your ROG Ally, and play your Steam games on your TV that way as well. So just something to be aware of.
If they did that, would that defeat the purpose of getting the ROG then? If you could just play your Steam?
It depends on if you
travel.
If you travel, it would still make more sense to get a ROG Ally.
Right.
At this point, I don't do a lot of travel. I mean, I've done more travel this year than I've done like the last decade plus.
Right.
But I still don't do a lot. I still want to get one, but if I can play if we can get the ability to play our Steam games on our Xbox, because that's another thing I like about console gaming is playing on my TV and my couch rather than sitting at a desk with a 30-inch monitor. I'd rather be on my comfy couch in front of my 75-inch TV. If I could have access to my Steam games there, then my need, air quotes, for a ROG Ally is definitely much less. If I start traveling more, which I very well may do, then it would probably make more. Although it's a software thing for being able to play your Steam games on your Xbox, unless it's unique to the next generation of hardware. If they decide to go that way, then it would be like, do I want to get the next generation of Xbox, the next generation console, or would I rather get the ROG Ally X and be able to do the dock it to my TV and then take it with me, and then I wouldn't necessarily need to get the next Xbox console. So it just kind of depends on whether it's unique to the next generation or whether it's going to be a software update that you can do on your current Xbox.
Okay, well, with that being said, then really quick, then what do you think what is the benefit? Like, what would be? Okay, so we have the Steam Deck and we'll soon have the ROG, but then what's the benefit of getting those two versus like an Alienware laptop? Minus, I mean, yes, you can do multiple stuff with it's still a laptop, but is what you get on a Alienware laptop the same processor or perks, if you will, on a Steam Deck or a ROG? Because
have
those
not.
Alienware laptops are expensive, or
Yes.
can get expensive.
Yeah, I've
And
heard
then
that because like when I was in high school, like Alienware was like that was like the cream of the crop when it came to
creme de la creme.
pre-built. They have been. I'm pretty sure Alienware got bought out by Dell, and from what I hear, the quality of Alienware has dropped significantly since back in the day.
Okay,
That's just what I hear. It's anecdotal evidence. I've never even used an Alienware back in the day or recently, so
right.
I can't say.
I've
But
heard
to
more about
answer,
Razer than I have Alienware.
my keyboard's a Razer.
Right.
But to answer your question, that would basically be the main difference between that would be the form factor. If you're going to use if you travel and you need like a laptop to do work and you want a game, a laptop would make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But if you're traveling a lot and you want a game on the go, like on a bus or a train or whatever, you don't want to carry around a big laptop and
Right.
pull it out and sync your controller and stuff. And a handheld form factor is going to be much
More convenient
easier for you.
Yeah.
So it really depends on whether you need to do other stuff with it, like
Right.
a ROG, because ROG Allies do already, or the ROG does already exist as a handheld and it runs on Windows, but the ROG Ally that's coming out is basically like I said, optimized for gaming and specifically Xbox stuff, because the current ROG handhelds, I don't know what they're called, but it basically is running the full desktop version of Windows. So you'll have like a little itty bitty tiny start button. You gotta go through the start menu to get to what you want to go to. Whereas the newer one is going to be, like I said, it's going to be optimized. So it's basically going to have kind of like a Steam OS that just recently has really become all the rage. There's going to be a similar thing for Microsoft side rather than actually running it on a regular desktop version of Windows on a handheld. So you could do basically everything that they're talking about. You could do that on a current ROG handheld, but it's not optimized for it.
Right.
Whereas the new one is going to be optimized for gaming and just being about the games that are on there. You don't need to worry about, running Office and Excel, and it's not going to pop up with, hey, your Windows needs to update all the time and interfere with your gaming, stuff like that.
So like what the Alienware, we'll just use that from the gaming side, the processor, all that stuff would be, you're still gonna get that from the Steam Deck or the ROG LAX, right? So it just comes down to like, do you want it in a laptop version or a handheld version?
My guess would be that the laptop would probably be more powerful.
Really?
But with more power comes bigger battery drain. So a laptop is probably going to run out of battery playing a game faster than a handheld, because the handheld is more optimized for battery usage to only be going to what it needs to.
Right.
And you don't have all this extra stuff running in the background.
This is a dumb question, but let's say, like, and I don't know if Alienware uses Ryzen. I have a gaming laptop and I have the Ryzen. Well, the handhelds, do they still use the same components as like the laptop would, as far as like the gaming components?
I don't know. I'd have to look into it.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. And like, I'm not trying to press one product over the other. I would still, obviously, because I'm a console guy, I would, if I had to choose between we're going to get you a gaming laptop or we're going to get you a handheld, I'm going to go 10 out of 10 times with the handheld, just because that's going to be the closest, closest. And then, like you said, it's a convenience thing, right?
Yeah.
But, if they're like, no, well, the benefit of going to the laptop is you can play, games that,
more powerful.
If you will, like,
and then you can use all the other stuff you typically use a computer for like if you're streaming, or if you need to use Word documents and Excel sheets and stuff. So it's dependent on what you need it for each person.
That's kind of exciting though, that you, like, if this is true to where you can play your Steam stuff on your Xbox, like if they come and somehow, because Steam has nothing to do with Microsoft, right? They're owned by two separate.
Yeah, Steam is owned by Valve. Valve used to make games. They made great games until they just like, we're just going to be a publisher now. And we're not going to make games, and we're just going to make bank off of our storefront. So
they probably are making bank.
Yeah, they can't count to 3 because they had so many good 2-game franchises that never made it to a 3rd game.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Vanquish is in chat saying, "Good evening, guys. Good to see you, Vanquish. Hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while." He says, "Never have I ever owned an Xbox. To each their own." Dude says, "Elden Ring is definitely the easiest of the FromSoft Souls-like games, but that could also be because I was used to how they designed the bosses by then. Yeah, since you had already played Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 countless times." Vanquish loves the Steam Deck. I've been traveling a lot, and it's a godsend. Nice. Yeah, dude says EU Windows, understandable, because he's all about Linux. He runs Linux on his actual desktop PC. It's basically doing PCing on hard mode because it's much more difficult to do things on Linux since a lot of stuff isn't compatible and stuff. So you got to find all these workarounds and stuff. So Vanquish says 80% of my PC games are on Steam, and the rest is on GOG and Game Pass. I do not. I do need to look into the ROG. Okay. And Rocker Dude is here. What's up, Rocker Dude? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. So salutations. ROG Ally is the best handheld for Xbox-centric gamers. Absolutely, for sure. And Vanquish says Steam Deck or ROG would still be cheaper than a gaming laptop. Probably. That would be my guess. But I haven't looked into any of the prices at all. Although I've heard rumors. Did they announce the ROG Ally? Yeah, I think they had finally confirmed the price of the ROG Ally. It's like 500 and 800, which that's still cheaper than a quality gaming laptop. So
I think I would like to think it's probably comparative to the Steam Deck because, like I said, I know there's 3 different levels that you can get.
Pull it up here. Or at least the ROG Ally, but yeah, go ahead.
But again, that 800, that's what, $300 more than the Xbox Series X.
True. Yeah, Series X is 500. Although I think just like PlayStation, I think the Xbox prices might have gone up recently as well. But I can't say for certain.
It's like everything's going up, right? Even the freaking. That's why it was crazy to hear, freaking the Switch 2, the pricing for the Switch 2. Yeah. I think, and what was so crazy about that is that at the time that they released the price, they hadn't even released the difference between the 2 consoles. So it's like you really just had to take their word for it that it was worth the whatever the $150 price hike.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be $450 and then 500 technically, but I mean, if you're going to get it, why wouldn't you just spend the extra and get Mario Kart? Because that's really now the Bonanza's out. That's basically the only games to really get a Switch 2 for.
Wait, but you can do Tears of the Kingdom. It's just that was the whole thing. It's like I heard that they put Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on there, but it's just
the Switch 2 versions,
right? Which is depth to view was like one of the biggest things. Like there was no added content or anything to the story. They just basically gave you prettier graphics. And I'm like, to spend $90 for depth to view, or I'm not exactly sure what the term is, but that seems just crazy.
If you already have it, it's like a $10 upgrade. But yeah, and I have heard that those games didn't run great on the original Switch, so they do run a lot better now.
Oh, really?
So, I'm on the ROG Ally X page here, and it does have a dock on here, and you can even, let's see here, what is this? Oh, there is an external GPU you can plug in order to make it more powerful as well.
Well, that is interesting.
Can you show me what the price is going to be? There's no price on here. And is there any way to pre-order it? I don't see anywhere to say, buy. Learn more. It's like, where's the option to buy? I just want to see what the price is. Oh, the learn more takes you to the Xbox page and it has nothing to do with the ROG Ally. So, I could be off on the price. But even if it's still more expensive than a Series X.
But even so, like if you can play both, like in my book, like it's kind of almost worth it.
Yeah, if you already have a Steam Deck, I don't know if it'd be worth switching over to it. But if you didn't have one and you were looking into getting one, I would say that this new one is the way to go because you have access to so many different storefronts. very easily all out of the box. Essentially, you don't have to
Yeah.
jerry rig it in order to switch operating systems in order to play games on another storefront.
When you were talking about it, you're not talking like you don't have to. When you said dual boot, that has nothing to do like partitioning it, right? It's just you.
Probably. I've never done it
okay.
myself, but that would probably be the best way to do it is partition your hard drive.
Yeah.
So it reads as if you have two separate hard drives, but you only have one, but you have it, partitioned into one is, your Linux, and that's where your Steam is. Then you have your other partition. So you have Windows on it, and that's where you can access all the other storefronts.
Yeah.
So whether you can do it without partitioning, I don't know, but that would probably be the easiest way to do it. So you don't have to cross contaminate essentially.
I had a a Mac years ago, and in order to play some of the
exact same thing,
I had to partition it, which was stupid.
My buddy, who I was telling you earlier, who got me into the Shadow of Mordor games, he has a Mac computer as well, and so he does the same thing where he has to like dual boot into Windows in order to play Windows games on it. So. Yeah, not ideal. Like there are ways to do it, but it's not ideal. So that's where the new ROG Ally X comes in handy because you don't have to worry about all that. You basically play it all in one place, and it makes it very, very user friendly. So, okay. Well, all right. We'll go ahead and get into some of those characters that you mentioned earlier. So, so Gears of War is your favorite video game franchise ever?
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard because I love Halo 2, but yes, Gears of War is bar none my favorite.
Okay.
I don't think I've played a bad. Well, let me be very careful. It depends if you consider like Gears of War 5 part of the franchise, because that was the one game that I wasn't necessarily a fan of. But all of them,
I haven't heard great things about it.
Yeah, I could. It was tough, man. Once they I think it was it 4 where Dom's son is in it, and
JD. I think he's in 4 and 5.
Yeah, those two I guess were not my most favorite. But out of when I think of Gears of War, I honestly think of like 1, 2, and 3. Those are for me that's what Gears of War is.
That's what I think most people think of.
5 was just hard to get into. Like I didn't quite understand. Like was it Kate the character, and then like she's the granddaughter of the Locust Queen, and I just
spoilers.
Yeah, sorry. And then,
I've only played 1, 2, and 3 in Judgment. I haven't played 4 or 5.
I would be remiss if I couldn't. I would not be a good friend if I told you to go play. I would not feel comfortable telling you to go play 5. I just like. I mean, there's aspects of it that are kind of cool, but it doesn't, I guess, make up for the amount of lacking that are in those games.
So, have you played Gears Tactics?
No, I've seen it. I've seen it, and I've wanted to, but I've not played it.
Oh, so you do want to? You just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, it's is it Horde?
It's a very different type of game.
Okay.
Do you know the XCOM franchise?
No, I've not. Yes, I have actually.
It's basically Gears of War XCOM. It's like a top-down, turn-based strategy game.
Interesting.
Where you place your units and you tell them like it's kind of like an RTS, but it's more so like instead of having like squads, you're controlling like
not like World of Warcraft type.
No,
style, or okay.
Although combat is kind of like that. In that you're not really like, it's not like you're in first person, like you're aiming. It's more like, because it's from like a more so top down isometric perspective, and you're issuing commands to your characters, but they like they execute the commands in like a turn based order, and it's strategic on where you place them and stuff. So I've never played it, but I know this kind of genre has become kind of popular in it. As far as I know, the first game in this style of genre was the XCOM game. So if someone says it's an XCOM-like game, I know exactly what they're talking about.
So would you be willing to play it, or are you kind of turned off on that style of, I guess, gaming?
It's not bad. It's just that's not really my style, so I'm not really interested in playing it.
It's very interesting that they did that that style of game for Gears of War, because when like you explained that to me, like that to me doesn't really shout out Gears of War, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's kind
So,
of like a similar not tonal shift, but like an entirely different genre shift for Gears of War,
okay.
as like Halo did with the Halo Wars games.
Yes, that I guess that is, now that you bring
Like
that up,
that's a
that is
proper
true.
RTS.
Yeah.
But I haven't played those because I'm not big on RTSs. Even though dudes try to convince me a few times, I'm like, maybe someday we'll see.
He needs to
It's just
convince
not
you
very high
harder
on the
than,
list. You like Halo
yeah.
Wars?
I would be more apt to play that style within Halo than I would Gears of War, which is weird.
Gears
Because
Tactics.
like, well, it's still a, or Tactics. I'm sorry. You think, well, it's still an RTS, but it's like I don't know. For me, it's I want to, when I play Gears of War, I expect a very certain. I just expect Gears of War, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
What are your I want to get your thoughts really quick, since we're on Gears of War. The new game that's coming out. What are your thoughts on?
That's what I was going to ask you about as well, because Gears of War Reloaded just launched yesterday. It's the third remaster of the first game. So I've done I played Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3. I did play Gears Judgment, but I played it on an alternate gamer tag because I didn't want it on my tag for more achievements, although I'm more open to it now. But as Dude says, because of the seriously achievements, that's also why he's only played Gears 1 through 3. And that's one of the main reasons I've also only played Gears 1 through 3. But I have played Gears Ultimate, which was the first remaster of Gears 1. This is the second remaster of Gears 1. I am planning on playing it. It has basically the exact same achievement list as the original game did. So I will be playing it. For me, like, Gears is pretty fun, but I have a love-hate relationship with the franchise because
Really?
I'm a huge fan of like co-op. So I love the co-op campaign and being able to play through the whole game with a friend. And Gears 3, you get, because Gears 1 and 2, you can only do 2 players, but Gears 3, they added 4-player co-op. Kind of like Halo. Halo 1 and 2 were only 2-player, but Halo 3 was 4-player. So I love that aspect. I despise with a passion Gears' multiplayer. I hate Gears multiplayer. How do you feel about Gears multiplayer?
I'm not.
It's so popular, but I hate it.
I'm not opposed to it. It's not. It wouldn't be my. It's not like the my ideal co-op, but I'm not.
I'm talking about like the versus against other people.
Oh yeah, no, not a fan.
Okay.
I like the co-op. Horde, I can get down. I can get down on Horde for.
Horde's fun because that's co-op. You and some buddies
yeah.
versus the AI. I like that stuff. Beast mode, same thing. Although that was introduced in Gears 3. But yeah, the PvP where you're playing against other people, I hate it.
Not a fan.
So I just hate the multiplayer, just like how it plays. But the other thing that also doesn't help it is how retardedly stupid they have gone just off the rails with the multiplayer achievements. Like, you can do literally everything in the single player, and you only have like 40% of the achievements because just the emphasis they put on the achievements, like the balance. And I say that in air quotes because the balance, there's no balance. It's way out of whack. But the emphasis they put on the achievements in the game for multiplayer just so far outweighs the single player. And it's just retarded how difficult and how time consuming the achievements are. So are you, as Dude said, because of the seriously achievements, are you familiar with the seriously achievements?
No.
Okay. So in Gears of War 1, they added seriously, and it was for getting 10,000 kills in ranked multiplayer. That has in the Ultimate Edition, they changed it so it's 10,000 kills just in any multiplayer, so it doesn't have to be ranked. So you can do it with it's still a lot of kills, but you don't have to do it in ranked, which is nice. Because ranked, I haven't done ranked in 20 years almost, so could be wrong. But I think ranked, you can't like invite people. You just have to like go in. You might be able to go in with a party, but you can't you can't control it's going to be us 4 versus you 4. Like, we have our team set up where you can do that in like private matches. So it made that a little bit easier. So you can set up, your teams in private matches in the Ultimate Edition to make that achievement a lot easier. But in the original, it's ranked, so you can't do that. You usually got to play against other people they're bringing that achievement back in Gears Reloaded. They still have Seriously for 10,000 kills, but I think it's the same as the Ultimate Edition, so it doesn't have to be in ranked. However, Gears of War 2 added Seriously 2.0. This is actually the easiest one, but it's get 100,000 kills. However, it does not require them to be in multiplayer. So there's a couple checkpoints in the campaign where you can just get tons of kills. It's mainly the one near the end of the game when you're on the Brumac, and you can just mow down all the locusts and then reload your checkpoint and just keep doing that over and over and over again until you get to 100,000 kills. So it's the easiest one, but it's a lot more kills. Gears 3.0, in Gears 3, I don't know the details of it, but it's get an Onyx medal because there's like 50 or 60 different medals in the game. And they have different levels like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, onyx. And you have to get every onyx medal in the game. And some of them are like, get 10,000 kills with this gun. And you have to do that for like every single gun in the game. So I don't know that, like I said, I don't know the specifics. It's just something ridiculous like that. They've added Gears 4.0 in Gears 4. And it's even more ridiculous than Gears 3. I don't know what it is. And they have Gears 5. They have Seriously 5.1 and 5.2. They added an additional Seriously achievement in one of the last free title updates that came out. And everything that you did up to that point didn't even count. So you have to start from scratch if you've already done it. So it'd be better to start playing it now after it's already released so that everything you're doing is making progress to it. Because if you had already gotten Seriously 5.0 and then that achievement unlocked, you have to do everything to get back to where you were, plus whatever the new requirements were for the new one. So it was like a giant slap in the face to everyone who plays Gears and goes for achievements. So that's the main reason also why I hate Gears multiplayer, and I have not played Gears 4 and 5 just because of how ridiculously stupid the achievements have gotten in Gears multiplayer.
So, and there's no way to answer this, but it looks like between 1, 2, and 3 Gears, it looked like they were averaging between I think like 56 achievements. Do you think that this new
per game?
Yeah.
I'll be able to answer that here in just a second. Gears 1 had 57 achievements. Gears 2 had 79. Gears 3 had 82. Gears 4 has 164. And Gears 5 has 181.
Okay. My research was off. But what do you think? Do you think and
Judgment has 70.
70. Do you think E-Day, do you think they'll have more or less than kind of the trending number that they've had before? And there's no way to know because it's not a lot has come out about the game.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're hyped for E-Day.
I'm so hyped, but I've not done I'm hoping that they bring back I'll butcher his name, Maggiano or Maggio, is it John Mag, the guy who voices
the guy that voices Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah.
John DiMaggio.
That will be because because in the trailer or in the beta trailer,
I'm sure he will. They have to have him for the voice,
right? And
Marcus.
if they don't, because it's supposed to be a younger earlier game, that will be the defining moment because you can't have Marcus Phoenix without
John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio, right. you can't
right.
do it.
No, you have to have him for.
But
Marcus. He's iconic.
I am so excited.
It was something we're going to talk about here in a minute, but it's kind of like taking Michael Ironside out of Splinter Cell.
It just you can't do it. No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
They will be so stupid if they don't. I don't care what they have to pay him. Pay the man.
Yes.
Like one of my favorite things to do is get on YouTube and just listen to the a compilation of like just the different sayings he says with all the games. It's like, hey, down in front, But yes, I am hyped for this game. What I was so goosebumps when I was watching it, where Dom is just getting I think it's either Dom or Marcus, one of the two.
It was Marcus that was fighting
Marcus.
The
okay, getting just his teeth kicked, and I'm like, what are you doing, guy? Like, get up and fight back, But yeah, I'm very curious. I'm super excited. It will be a game that I will be willing to pay. I'm sure I'll have to pay 80 to not, I don't know if they're going to do
It'll
any
be
type
day
of,
one Game Pass, so if you don't want to
Yeah.
buy it, you don't have to.
well, I don't have Game Pass, and that's the other thing. It's
Well,
like,
you could do Game Pass for a month, try it out, see if you like it, and then buy
yeah,
it.
and then
if you want.
cancel it. Yeah, or buy
And
it. Yeah, either or.
if you have well, it depends on if you want to buy it physically or digitally. But if you buy it digitally from the Xbox store, if you're a
Right.
subscriber to Game Pass, you get a discount.
Are you before we go on or move on? Are you a physical copy or do you like the Game Pass?
So I do have Game Pass, and I've had it almost since Game Pass started.
Okay. All right.
The main reason why I mostly do digital games is because I game share with my buddy who I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
Razik. We game share, so anything I
Okay.
buy digitally, he has access to, and anything he buys digitally,
Yeah.
I have access to.
Nice.
But
yeah.
once I have some more income coming back in, because I'm currently unemployed, I'm going to start building up a physical collection of games.
Yeah.
Even if I already own them digitally, I still want physical copies.
So that's fair. That's the benefit of obviously digital. So whether I do digital or physical, here's the thing: if they come out and do like some type of metal box or like an actual
a steelbook.
Yeah, steelbook. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. If they do steelbook, then obviously I will do physical. But as soon as I can get that game, you better believe I'm buying it because I'm very excited to see how it compares to 1, 2, and 3.
Nice. So I do plan to play E-Day. Are
you gonna try to do it like the day it launches, or are you gonna? Because here's the thing:
probably not day one,
right? Because every time a game launches, we'll just rely on the batches to fix anything, all the bugs and everything, which just irritates the living piss out of me. Because it's like, can we not go back to the day and age to where you didn't have patches?
Product on day one.
Yes, you didn't have patches, right? So you were forced to release a game this close. Yes,
there were games back in the day that were not, complete, and they launched on physical cartridges, and they're broken. I don't know of many examples, but I do know that there were games out there that were like on cartridges, and they had to release a second print of them because the first round of games they had like some sort of bug or something. But it wasn't terribly common like it is now.
But I guarantee there's still a lot those first round, buggy games, if you will, were still far better, released or prepared than some of the stuff we're getting today. My goodness, I watched Fractured and Fraction. I watched. It wasn't even a beta. It was Star Wars Outlaws. Like the character falls through the map. Like she goes through the water and like just falls through the map. And this is not a beta version. This was actually like live play. I'm like, how are you that incompetent to let this happen? Oh well, it was
especially
like, let's see, man. Like.
Especially from one of the biggest, pillars in the industry, Ubisoft.
The biggest, yes. Well, one of the biggest. Don't get me started on Ubisoft because
two of the biggest.
I've had a love-hate relationship with Ubisoft, man. Like, obviously, I want to be very careful. Ubisoft did Splinter Cell, correct?
Yes, they published Splinter Cell games.
So here's because I'm a hypocrite, man, because I was like, I will tell you today, I hate Ubisoft. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when Splinter Cell came out, or if that was, I forget the exact release date, but
Blacklist came out in 2013, so it's been about 12 years since the last Splinter Cell.
Yeah, I want to pick your brain on what your favorite Splinter Cell game of the franchise is, because
August of 2013. So yeah, it just passed its 12-year anniversary just about a week ago. We will get there. I did have a couple other things I wanted to mention on.
For sure.
But yes, we'll definitely talk about Splinter Cell. So Gears of War. So E-Day. I do plan to play it. Probably not day one, because I often say this. So anyone who's a regular on my channel knows I'm frugal and I'm patient. So I rarely buy things until like a year after they're out, until I can get them for like 50% off or more. I rarely buy games unless they're more than 50% off. And it comes with all the DLC, and it's all been patched. So I rarely run into stuff, like you're talking about, with all the bugs and stuff on day one, because I rarely play anything day one. Yeah. And I get it complete for a much cheaper price, because I've got I've got a backlog of hundreds of games. I don't need to rush out and play them because most of the games I play are single player. So it's not like I'm on the fear of missing out thing where you need to play the multiplayer game right away or you're going to miss out on stuff.
That's super smart. And, and I'm frugal too. But like when it comes to like my favorite franchise game of all time, it's like, do I have the patience to wait? It is smart because, you have to assume at this point in time that there are going to be glitches in this game. There's going to be bugs, and why play it day one when you could, you're going to have to probably bank on them fixing it, which is so sad. Like in this day and age of gaming to where you have to just assume that you're going to get a subpar product day one. So just wait week 3 until they fix
the most
everything.
Part. Because, so like Ninja Gaiden 4, I'm playing day one. Fortunately, it's going to be on Game Pass, so I don't have to buy it up front. I would probably, if it wasn't going to be day one Game Pass, I would probably buy it day one. But fortunately, I don't have to buy. I will buy it eventually since I freaking love Ninja Gaiden. But I'll be able to play it day one without having to spend any extra out of pocket. However, to your point, one of the other games I am super excited for, and I'm probably going to get day one. I won't be able to get it on Game Pass because it's not on Xbox. Is the next game in my second favorite franchise of all time. That's Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this year, and that'll be on Switch. And I will probably get that day one. That'll be one of the first times I've bought a game day one. The amount of games I've bought, like actually spent money on day one in the last decade, I can count on one hand.
Well, I'm sorry. What was the game that you're going to buy on day one?
Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, I think you have to. I don't think you can wait. Metro, fantastic.
And
fantastic
Nintendo,
franchise.
I have confidence that they're going to release a well put together product on day one. It's not going to be broken.
For sure. I absolutely. I mean, they're probably the only company that I would have full confidence that would be a adequate. Because I think they still take pride in their games.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah, a lot of the other stuff, other publishers and stuff. It's like I'm gonna wait because I don't know if this is gonna be a working game on day one. Nintendo,
when
I don't really have that fear. It still doesn't have a release date.
Okay.
They said it's coming out this year, but it may get bumped next year. I kind of hope it does, just because I've got so much other stuff I want to play.
Well, you'll have to buy a Switch too. It looks like.
Well, that's the thing is you'll be able to play it on both. It'll have kind of like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It'll have a Switch 2 version, but you can still play it on a Switch 1. So I won't have to upgrade. Not like Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's only available on Switch 2, so I can't play that on a Switch 1. At least unless they change their mind, because they have said it's going to be on both.
What would you do if it was just solely released for the Switch 2?
If it was Switch 2,
would you have to get
at this point in time? I wouldn't get it day one because I have no income right now.
Right.
If I had income, I would absolutely buy a Switch 2 for that game specifically.
Yeah. Because that's how fantastic that franchise is.
Yeah. And Metroid is my second favorite franchise of all time behind Mass Effect.
Did you play the I know we'll get to the Splinter Cell, but did you play the old school NES for Game Boy, the old Game Boy versions of Metroid Prime?
So the original Metroid was an NES game.
NES, yes.
Metroid 2 was a Game Boy game. Then Super Metroid was on Super Nintendo. Metroid Fusion was on Game Boy Advance, and then Metroid Dread was on Switch. So every single one of the mainline games has been on a different platform.
Right.
Then there's the Prime series. Metroid Primes 1 and 2 were both on GameCube, and then Metroid Prime 3 was on Wii.
Okay. I have the
and I played them all.
On my Switch, I have the whatever you can play, like the old Nintendo 64 games and the old
on
Game
Nintendo
Boy.
Online.
Yeah, and so I started playing I think I'm assuming it's Metroid.
If you tell me what platform it is, I can tell you which game it is.
I think it's
other
Game
than
Boy.
Metroid Prime.
Yeah,
all of them have been on different platforms.
Yeah,
so,
Game Boy, I believe.
If it was Game Boy, it was Metroid 2.
Okay, Metroid 2. Okay.
With the exception of Game Boy Advance did have 2 games. It had Metroid Zero Mission, which was a remake of the original Metroid from NES, and it's a much better way to play it because the original Metroid on NES that's painful game to go back to.
Really?
I played it because I'm such a huge fan. and I'd never actually played Metroid 1 and 2, the originals, before. I was like, you know what? Because this is my second favorite franchise, I got to play them. So I went back earlier this year and played the original Metroid for the first time. That was painful. I'm glad it spawned such a great franchise, but that is not a good game. And then I played Metroid 2 for the first time, and that was a drastic improvement over the original.
If you had to, if somebody held a gun to your head and asked you to tell them your favorite, what would it be, and on what?
My favorite Metroid game?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, hands down, Metroid Prime Remastered.
Okay.
Because Metroid Prime 1 and 2 were like tied for me for my favorite Metroid game until Metroid Prime Remastered came out and added. It looks better, but the main reason why I like Metroid Prime Remastered as easily number one is because it gives it the modern controls. Because the Metroid Prime games have like a tank control setup, and the Remastered adds modern controls, so you can actually use both joysticks. Because
very nice.
In Prime, your right joystick is to switch between your different beams, not to look around.
Oh,
so modern controls make it so much better.
Yeah, that would be hard to play if it wasn't on modern control.
I've played Metroid Primes 1 and 2 on the standard controls on GameCube plenty of times, but playing it with the modern controls just is chef's kiss.
Oh.
So easily Metroid Prime Remastered is my favorite Metroid game.
So what was the difference between Metroid and Metroid Prime? Is it obviously the same character? It's this Samus?
Samus is the main character.
Yes, Samus.
And that's right below you.
Yes.
Next to Link there.
Right.
So Metroid Prime, they all take place in the same timeline. I could have this mixed up, but the Prime games all take place between like Metroid 2 and Super Metroid, if I remember correctly. But it's basically a spin-off because all the classic Metroids are 2D games, whereas Metroid Prime is a first-person game. It technically is a first-person shooter, but it's more so a first-person Metroid game with shooter elements. If you said, technically it qualifies as a first-person shooter, but kind of like we were talking about earlier, like with Bayonetta being a hack and slash, it's not really like a first-person shooter, but it is. So
you gotta make me want to.
I love them all though.
You make me start downloading the freaking Metroid on my Switch now. I haven't played it since. I'll get it wrong. Was there a Game Boy Advance version?
So Game Boy Advance had the only mainline one was Metroid Fusion. That was Metroid 4. But they also had Metroid Zero Mission, which was a remake of the original Metroid from NES.
I remember playing it on Game Boy Advance.
And both those games are great. They're fantastic. Dude says that all the Prime games take place between Metroids 1 and 2. So I was close. I said between 2 and Super Metroid. It was actually between Metroids 1 and Metroid 2. So thank you for that correction. But yeah, I love Metroid. So second favorite franchise. So I'm super excited for Metroid Prime 4. And then I plan to play it day one. Last thing on Gears before we move over to probably Splinter Cell. You asked me about my thoughts on E-Day's achievements.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that it's more so along the lines of Gears 1, where they don't just go crazy off the deep end with multiplayer achievements.
Right.
I have high hopes, and I think they very well may do that. They're not going to make it like a super live service multiplayer game like Gears 4 and 5 were. They might, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be closer to Gears 1 than Gears 4 and 5 when it comes to multiplayer and the achievements. So my guess is probably between like maybe around 60 achievements would be, if I had to put a number to it, that's kind of where I would kind of guess in that ballpark.
Now for achievements go, is that an adequate number? Like, is that a lot of achievements for a game, or should there be more than, let's say they release 57? Like,
it depends.
Like if you buy a game and you find out that there's 57 achievements, are you saddened, or you're like, okay, well, that's a decent amount for a game?
It also depends on the game. So a game that, if you had like a 3-hour game, you could cram 100 achievements into it if you wanted to.
Right.
But typically a shorter game is probably going to have less achievements. A longer game is going to have more. But there's all over the place. There's games that have, are 100+ hour games and they have like 12 achievements, and then there's games that are, like 5 hours that have 50. So
right. Super
it's up to
subjective.
it's up to the developers on what they want to do with their achievements. But for a game like Gears, I would think like 50 to 60 is kind of the right amount.
Okay.
But there used to also be, I mean, they've changed many times over the years since 360 came out, because that's when achievements were originally introduced. But originally, the very first set of rules for achievements is a game has to have at least 5 achievements and cannot have more than 50 achievements.
Really?
And those, regardless of how many you had in that range of 5 to 50, the points for each achievement had to add up to 1,000. That's changed many times over the years, because now we've got the single game that has more achievements than any other game on the Xbox ecosystem is Master Chief Collection, and it has 700 achievements for 7,000 gamer score. But that makes sense since it's 7 games.
Yeah.
It's Gears 1.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST, Halo Reach, Halo 4. Is it 7? Did I miss one?
Yeah, there's
only 6 games. Because there is Halo 5, but Halo 5 is not in the Master Chief Collection.
Well, you're not going to say Halo Wars part of that.
Halo Wars is not in the Master Chief Collection either.
No, okay. Yeah, no.
So it's 6 games for 700 achievements worth 7,000 gamer score. But so that makes sense for a big collection of games like that. A lot of the collections, like the Crash Insane trilogy, is the first 3 Crash games that has 3,000 gamer score.
Yeah.
I don't remember how many achievements it has. It's like 80. Let's see here. I just played it earlier this year. It has 77 achievements, so I was very close. And then like the Spyro Reignited trilogy, that has 3 games in it, and so it has 3,000 gamer score.
So
Spyro, and it has a total of 105 achievements.
So what does that exactly mean? So it says like Gears of War 3 has 56 achievements for a total of 1,250 gamer score.
Gears of War has 57 for 1,250.
Yeah.
So like I said, originally they could only go to 1,000.
Okay.
Then DLC became a thing, and the first game that had more than 1,000 gamer score was Oblivion, when they released the Shivering Isles DLC. And DLC, I don't know how many achievements you could have in DLC, but a DLC could only have or had to be. I don't know if it had to be, but it couldn't be more than 250 gamer score. So Oblivion went from 1,000 gamer score to 1,250 gamer score, and I think it went from 50 to 60 achievements. It was also the first one that had more than 50 achievements. So, and that was in the time frame of Gears. So that's why they added a DLC that bumped it from 50 to 57 achievements and went from 1,000 to 1,250 gamer score when they added one of the map packs. I forget what it is. Let me pull it up here real quick. They had, it was actually 2 DLCs. There was the Hidden Fronts multiplayer map pack and a title update. So title updates are, I'm not going to get into it, but those are kind of hard to explain. Title updates are basically the reason why achievements have almost become irrelevant, because some of these games will just spam title updates and add thousands of gamer score. Because there's games now that are worth like, they have like 15 achievements and they're worth like 5,000 gamer score, and you can get all the achievements in like 5 minutes.
Right. But this isn't a niche market, though. You think if you're a game developer, like if you have an audience for people who go after achievements, you would want to probably load that game up with achievements, or as many as you could within the realm of whatever the rules are.
But that's exactly what a lot of these cheap games they sell. Like there's like some of these games I was just talking about. The release is 1,000 gamer score, and it's literally like a 5-minute completion. And then whatever the time they have to wait is until they can release a title update. I think it's like 6 months or something. And then they'll release a title update, which is essentially a free DLC. And sometimes they don't even add any additional content in the game. They just add more achievements. And if you've already met the requirements, you boot up the game and the achievements unlock. You don't even have to do anything because the prerequisites have already been met. And they sell them for like $5. And there's an Xbox version, like an Xbox One version, an Xbox Series X version, and a Windows version. So for like $15, you get the same game 3 times. You play it for 5 minutes each, and like a total of like 15, 20 minutes. And that's 15,000 gamer score in like 15 minutes. So there are developers who basically make these crap games just to basically sell them to the achievement whores, essentially. So I used to buy a lot of those games, but now I don't buy them unless it's actually something I'm interested in. Like some of
Yeah.
them are puzzle games, so I have bought a couple of them, but I rarely buy those anymore because now it's like I don't really care about the score value. I'm more interested in
Yeah.
the ratio, which is how difficult it is, and my completion percentage. So I kind of ignore those games now. So, but Sons and Shadows is in chat, and what's up, homies? Good evening, Sons and Shadows. Hope you're doing well tonight. So, one last thing about Gears is between Gears 1, 2, and 3, which is your favorite?
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Is that a Snoopy's choice?
Man, I Gears is at the end of Gears 2. There's a scene where it will make every man cry. And if you played the trilogy, you know what I'm talking about. That's tough.
If you're talking about what I think you're talking about without spoiling, that's in I don't know, like 3? A third of the way through Gears 3.
Is it okay? Yeah.
Because the end of Gears 2, you're on the King Raven and you're using the Hammer of Dawn to take out the Super Brumac. That's in the emulsion. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I would say. Oh, it's so tough.
Hey, Captain Keeley's here. What's up, Captain Keeley?
I'd say probably 2. Yeah, if I had to choose, I mean, let me be quite frank with you, man. There's nothing more terrifying than playing Gears of War 1 in a thunderstorm when you're fighting the Krill or trying to escape the Krill. But the 2's just, I think, peak. I mean, when it was it the Theon bow or I'll get the name wrong.
Oh, the Theron guards.
Yeah,
they had the
torque bow.
I love the torque bow.
Torque bow, man. I love the.
I almost
the
always carry that thing.
The Nasher shotgun is probably my favorite, and the bolt talk pistol, man. If you can get accurate with that pistol, that fantastic gun.
I do like the bolt talk pistol better than the snub pistol, but I rarely ever use it. I do almost always carry the torque bow if I'm able to. I like the Nasher in campaign. I hate the Nasher in multiplayer.
Do you really?
That's one of the main reasons why I hate Gears multiplayer.
Yeah. You have to, but in order for this to be for you to be proficient, man, you've got to get the reloading. That's what I love about
reload.
Gears. Yes, that's what I thought was so brilliant about the game was like the active reload because if
they basically introduced that concept.
Yeah, and if you can master it
before,
and there's some levels where like you have to be proficient at that because if you're not, you're up creek without a paddle. But what are some of the other
difficulties?
Before, if you're okay with it, before we move on, are you a retro lancer or the regular lancer?
Oh, I don't even know why you would ever use the retro lancer. It seems completely pointless.
Well,
I mean, no pun intended.
Right.
It has a very sharp point.
It's very sharp.
But I don't know why you'd ever use that over, the chainsaw classic
right.
or the normal lancer.
Some people love that. That's what's crazy to hear. Some people really love the retro lancer. I actually have. My brother gave it to me. I have a full size, a life-sized model of the original,
nice
of the Lancer. But yeah, the chainsaw.
Like one Cliffy B had when he came out on stage.
Yeah, you can't beat the chainsaw Lancer. But
awesome.
Favorite weapon then of all the weapons, what would you say your favorite be?
In Gears of War?
Yep. We'll do both sides of the coin.
What do you mean both sides of the coin?
Like locust weapons and then the cog.
Heck, dude. Basically, the only locust weapons I ever use is the hammer burst when I'm out of lancer ammo.
Okay.
The only locust weapon I go out of my way to pick up is the boom shot. So I'd say the boom shot for locust. And then for the cog, it'd be either between the lancer or the torque bow. Oh wait, no, the torque bow is a locust weapon. So no, number one on locust is absolutely the torque bow. So then my number one on the cog would be the lancer.
Okay.
Another one of the things that I hate about Gears is I hate the sniper rifle in Gears so much. I love the sound effect it makes when you get a headshot, but I just hate the Gears of War sniper rifle, the long shot.
The long shot, yeah. Let's see here. I just wanted to check something really quick.
All right. So, dude says, oh, speaking of, so he says he got, yeah, for the Seriously 3.0, you have to get all 65 Onyx medals, and it's ridiculous. He watched all of Family Guy, all of American Dad, and all of South Park while he was grinding out the Seriously 3.0 achievement, and he was triple boxing it. So it takes a very long time to get that achievement. And he says, I don't think I've ever loved Ubisoft as a publisher. I always thought they were okay at best. I often, they deserve plenty of hate lately, but I do have to give them props because there's plenty of things that they've done well, even lately. So I know it's very loosely I consider myself a Ubisoft defender, but most people say, oh, if you're not completely condemning everything they do, then you're a Ubisoft defender. So in that regard, yes, I would be a Ubisoft defender.
Well, it's like, here's the thing. It's like, you need to give credit where credit's due, right?
Exactly.
If somebody's doing something right, you can't, as much as you may not agree with them, I think you still have to call it out for what it is, right?
Yeah.
No different than like EA, man. Like they've definitely done some not great stuff, but they've also done some pretty good stuff. So
I couldn't name anything good that EA has done, but I played a lot less EA games because, so many of their games are sports games, and I hate sports games.
Well, that's probably, yeah. I mean, the games that they've done well are probably sports games. Definitely not anything Star Wars related. My goodness.
Okay, well, I will have to give them kind of like Shadow of War. After they took the microtransactions out of Battlefront 2, that was the first time I played the EA Battlefront 2, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Okay.
So I'll give them that after the whole microtransaction debacle.
Right.
So I could say that. But because so many of EA games are sports games, there's so many more games under Ubisoft that I've liked than EA games.
Oh, yeah. I would agree. If you're not a sport, I mean, yeah. They've probably. I wonder what the ratio is from their sports
out of
games
all of
games.
EA's games. What percentage of their games are sports games? It's probably very large.
Yeah,
really, the only thing that pops into my head that I am a fan of that's EA that's not a sports game is the Need for Speed franchise.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's see here.
It's probably, I would say this number is probably not accurate, but in my mind, I'd be like 80-20 or 70-30 in regards to sports games versus non-sports games.
I would not argue against that. I have no idea how much, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was not far off. So let's see here. I'm gonna try some. Oh wow. Let's go to page 15. Trying to find my list of games that I have played that are from EA. See if there's anything that jumps out at me. I'm in the letter D right now. Come on. Where is E? How many pages do I got to go? How many pages of D are there? So, yes. Lots of sports games. Oh. Well, okay. So, I should have thought of this immediately, but it's because it wasn't originally an EA game. So, like I said, my number one favorite franchise is Mass Effect. It is EA now because they bought it. It wasn't when Mass Effect first came out.
I always thought it was EA. Who was the original developer then?
The original publisher of Mass Effect. Let's see here. I think it was just BioWare developed and published it. I'll be able to confirm for you here in just a second. Mass Effect. Where is Mass Effect 1? I got to go to page 2. Mass Effect 1. Let's see here. It was actually published by Xbox Game Studios.
Interesting. I need you to ruin Fracture's life. Please tell me your favorite is Andromeda. Please tell me, for the love of all that is good.
So similar to me being a Ubisoft defender, I am also an Andromeda defender.
Oh my goodness.
It's not
Thank you so
great.
much.
It's easily the worst of the 4 Mass Effect games, but it's nowhere near as bad as basically everyone gave it crap for.
People just left and right just besmirch this game, and I think it's fantastic.
It's interesting. Okay,
but
so
partially,
the story is So the story is not great. The characters are pretty bland. It looks good, and it has arguably the best combat in the franchise.
Combat does it for me though. Like I don't know.
What's that?
I said combat does it for me. If I can enjoy the combat, like I can at times overlook the story.
Exactly. So
And I
it's
think
got
that's
fun
what.
gameplay, but just everything else is so mediocre compared to how high the bar was set for the first 3 games. So
Okay.
I think it's a decent game. It's like a 6 out of 10.
What's your
Everyone's like,
favorite?
it's terrible. It's
Yeah.
like the word, it's a terrible game. It's like, no, it's just mediocre. It's middle of the road. But Mass Effect 3 is my single favorite game of all time.
3. Okay. Where would you rate? Is Andromeda at the very bottom then for you?
Oh yeah. So well, gameplay wise, I'd probably rather play Andromeda than Mass Effect 1 because Mass Effect 1 is much slower pace, but
Yeah.
Mass Effect 1 is still definitely a better game.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I had you thinking for a minute. Like, well, hold on. Let me think about this.
So,
But-
but yeah, so EA. Oh, another EA franchise I like. There's only 2 of them, but the Mirror's Edge games, I liked those.
Okay.
Oh, Army of 2, those were pretty fun. Although I only played the first one. There were 3 of them, but I only played the first one. Dead Space. People love Dead Space. I haven't played them though. The Battlefront games, those are big. I haven't played those either. Yeah, Need for Speed, as I mentioned. Shout out to Brutal Legend.
I feel like
People
you're
love
either
that
a
game.
Call of Duty guy or you're a Battlefront guy.
Yeah, exactly. If I had to pick between them, I'd pick Call of Duty, but I'm like, if Call of Duty was disappear from the face of the earth, I wouldn't care.
Are you Modern Warfare or Call of Duty, like Treyarch or Infinity Ward? What do you?
I was like Infinity Ward. Those are the only ones I ever actually played. I was not really ever interested in the Treyarch ones.
We got a lot of similarities. Well, you said okay. Hold on. You said Infinity Ward, not Treyarch.
Right. I don't think I've ever
Okay.
even played a Treyarch.
Yeah. See, I'm a Treyarch
COD.
guy through and
Okay.
through. I just Infinity Ward, just in my opinion, doesn't I guess match up to Treyarch. But again, I was a Black Ops guy. Those were like the games that I started with. So when I started playing all the the Call of Duty and whatnot.
That makes sense. I'll give EA this as well. I played this year thanks to Carl. Split Fiction was excellent, and that was published by EA.
Split. I've not heard of that. Split Fiction. I need to look that up.
It was fantastic. It's co-op only. You cannot play it by yourself, and there's no AI. You have to have a partner to play it with. But it was great.
So but the co-op is good.
It's designed from the ground up to be played in co-op. The guy who made the game, his name is Joseph Ferris, and that's kind of his shtick essentially. He's made really great co-op games. So the one before this was A Way Out, which I haven't played yet, the one before Split Fiction was It Takes Two, and then the one before that was A Way Out, and they're all co-op only games. So you have to have a partner to play them.
Let's see here.
But some other EA stuff. The Dragon Age franchise is big. I've never played them though. Crisis, I forgot that was EA.
When did I've seen this game. When did Dead Space come out? So is there just 2?
There's
1
3.
and 2?
And the remake
3.
of the first one. The remake of the first one came out like 2 years ago, but the original one came out in like 2007.
Okay.
So yeah, I can just go on and on and on off the top of my head on Ubisoft games that I've enjoyed over the years.
Best achievement game you played on the Xbox. What would you say if you had to?
Oh, that's not something I could answer off the top of my head. That's something I have to do homework for.
I'm definitely curious to hear your thoughts on and you don't have to pick the favorite. You could do like top whatever. That could add it to your list, but because there's quite a few, I would assume that are just achievement based games, right?
So since the 360 released, every single game on Xbox has had achievements.
Okay.
And I'm about 100 achievements short of 24,000. So
oh my goodness,
I've got a decent amount. So that is definitely not something I could think of off the top of my head, but I can definitely go do some homework and look through my games and get an answer for you and get back to you at some point. All right. Well, then that's great. Let's see here. Dude said Torpo was in Gears 1. Was the Torpo not in Gears 2 or 3? I thought it was.
I thought it was. I don't know about 3. God, now you're making me want to go back and play the Gears games. I know it was in 2. I'm pretty sure it was in 2. I don't remember 3 because 3 was was it the?
I swear it was in all 3 of them.
Now I gotta look it up because I'm curious.
But Captain Keeley says, all I know is the percentage is high, talking about what percentage of EA games or sports games. And I know Dude's a fan of the Treyarch games because he's a big fan of Black Ops. So he's a Treyarch over Infinity Ward during the Golden Era. I was never really interested in the Treyarch ones. I was interested in Modern Warfare's 1, 2, and I never did play Modern Warfare 3, but I was more interested in playing that than Black Ops.
It says the torque bow is in 3. I just don't remember using it.
So.
No, I just don't remember playing it, or not. No, I'm sorry, not playing it, using it. Let's see here. You would think somebody who swears that he knows everything about Gears would know this. Let's see here.
If it wasn't in all 3, then that'd be a shock to me because I could swear that it was in all 3.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you want to.
Yeah. Nope. It was. Yep. No, it was torque. It was in it. So
it was in 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Okay. So cool. All right. I thought so. But okay. And Kevin C says I never really liked the more modern COD games, to be honest. Fair enough. To each their own. Yeah, I was more I'll take sci-fi over fantasy like 9 times out of 10. So like anything like futuristic. I never did play Advanced Warfare or Infinity Warfare, or but I always wanted to because those ones looked really cool. I never did play them, but I would, despite them having a lot of negative press, I would much rather play those than World War II and some of those like more modern Call of Duties that took place in the past. But that's just me. So, but okay, so on to Ubisoft. That's probably my favorite, like third-party publisher. Maybe they have a lot of games that I really love. So, so Jason and I had a meeting last night. He's my co-host on Top 5, and we were figuring out the future of Top 5. And we came up with our topics for September. And I pitched him, hey, what about doing like top 5 games from a specific developer or publisher? And I pitched him Ubisoft, and I was like, hold on a minute. There's a game I want to play that I have a feeling will probably be in my top 5, but I haven't played it yet. So let's push that one to later. But Ubisoft gets a lot of hate, but like you said, you got to give them credit where credit is due. And the game that I'm very much looking forward to playing, it's the first thing I'm playing on Metroidvania Monday after I'm done with all the Metroid games. And I've heard nothing but fantastic things about it. I played the demo. I loved it. I would be surprised if it does not make it in my top 5 Ubisoft games. And that is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I'm very much looking forward to playing this game. It just came out last year, and it didn't sell very well. And so the studio basically got shut down immediately, unfortunately. But it was a great game from everywhere I've heard, both critics and the audience. So credit where that's due, when at the same time they're coming out with Star Wars Outlaw, which was a trash fire. I've heard, they've given it plenty of updates, so it's a much better game now. I don't know. I will be playing it at some point, but it's not very high on my priority list. But going back, there's tons of Ubisoft games that I've loved, like everything from the Tom Clancy stuff, the Splinter Cell games, the Rainbow Six games, the Ghost Recon games. I love all of those. A small franchise, but the Trials games, the one where you're on the dirt bike and you have to make it to the end with making as few faults as possible. Those are all published by Ubisoft, and I love those games. Yeah, I haven't played all of the Ghost Recon games, but I played Ghost Recon Wildlands, which came out not that long ago, and that was a fun game. I recently just bought Breakpoint, and I'm looking forward to playing that one. And those are also great co-op games as well, because you can play them entirely in co-op. Have you played any of the Ghost Recon games? And if
oh yeah, I was a big Rainbow Six. I think, was it Rainbow Six 3? It was I think it was one of the first games where you can get. Was it
Rainbow Six 3? I believe was, because that's a separate sub franchise of the Tom Clancy.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Of Ghost Recon, but they're very similar because. But I do enjoy both. But Rainbow Six 3, I believe that was an original Xbox game.
Okay, I think I played more Rainbow Six than I had Ghost Recon. I have played Ghost Recon, but I remember Rainbow Six 3 where you could give, if you wore the headset, you could give commands to the team, like like breach the door and whatnot. And then I
I don't
think
know
so.
which one that was.
Maybe don't quote me. I thought it was, but maybe I'm getting it wrong. But I distinctly remember playing Rainbow Six, the games.
My first Rainbow Six was Rogue Spear on PC way back in the day, and then my next ones were Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 on 360, and those games were fantastic. I would love to see a Rainbow Six Vegas 3. They had another Rainbow Six game that was announced, and it was going to be Rainbow Six Patriots, and that game looked like it was going to be great. And then it got scrapped, and then the next thing they came out with Rainbow Six Siege, and it's like, this isn't a Rainbow Six game at all.
Well, that's why they were fantastic, because it was Ubisoft Montreal that did it, not freaking Ubisoft California.
I don't know where all their studios are.
Yeah, I don't. So you mentioned Ubisoft. I didn't hear you say anything about Assassin's Creed. Are you an Assassin's Creed guy?
I don't love Assassin's Creed, but I do like Assassin's Creed. So yeah,
there's a lot of them. I know there's a lot, but I recently just finished Black Flag.
Black Flag. Okay, is that your first time playing it or replay?
Second. Well, okay. I had originally started playing it, and then I stopped, and then I finished it, and now I'm playing. I finished Black Flag, and then I dabbled in the Ezio collection, but now I'm playing Rogue.
Okay. Rogue is probably like the most underrated game in the franchise.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I really like that game.
But I'm going to I gotta let my puppy out really quick, and I'll be right back. If that's
okay, no problem. So Captain Keeley says, "Oh yeah, you already said that." But he says, "I never liked the modern Call of Duty." Oh yeah. Star Wars Outlaws, lol, slot maxing. Don't make yourself suffer playing it, Neo. Don't do it, man. It's already. I already started it and got an achievement on it on my tag, so I will be doing it at some point. And the fact that I'm playing it much when I don't know when I'll be playing. It could be years from now when I actually get around to actually playing it. But once I do, all the patches and fixes will be out, and it'll make the game better. So when I do end up playing it, it'll be the best version of the game, however mediocre that is. So, let me pull up the Ubisoft. I wish I could. Let's see here. What? I can. Let's see here. What were you saying? Assassin's Creed. Let me just go to all the Assassin's Creed games, or not all the Assassin's Creed games, all the Ubisoft games. Because I can't filter my games by just Ubisoft, but I can go and look at all the games from Ubisoft, and it'll show me which ones I've played. So it's Jover, yeah. So very similar thing with Starfield. I've started. I got the first achievement, so it's on my tag. So I will be playing it at some point. I don't know when. It'll be a long time till I get around to doing it. But by the time I do, because they're still releasing updates for it, it'll be the best version of it. So I'll probably enjoy it more than people did when it first came out. So really, can I only see like 6 per page? No, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 per page, and there's 28 pages. Dang it. I wanted to see a list of all the games I played that are published by Ubisoft. The only way I can do that is to organize them by publisher alphabetically and just scroll through them until I find Ubisoft. That's probably a better way to do it. So I can see more than 10 per page. Let's see here. Publisher. Alphabetical by publisher. Wait, can I do this? I doubt it because it only searches the name of the game. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. So do I need to publish? Yeah. All right. So I've got 60. Oh, you know what? Let's also narrow it down to only games that I've actually started. Now that narrows it from 68 down to 40 pages of all the games I've played. Let's see here. Ubisoft is close to the end, so let's go page 35. Too far. Page 30. Team Cherry is the first one because that was Hollow Knight. So we're at T's, almost at U's. THQ. Ubisoft. All right, so we got trial. Oh yeah. All set for when Hitman comes back. I'll try to get Fractured to attend. To attend what? Open mic? He said he was gonna. He couldn't watch live, but he did bow in right at the very beginning. He said he's going to watch the replay if that's what you're talking about. Unless you're talking about when I play Outlaws, I wasn't planning on streaming it, but if that may make it more entertaining, maybe I will stream it. I wasn't planning on it though. So, but yeah, Ubisoft games. So we've got the Trials franchise. We got all the Assassin's Creed games. We got the Ghost Recon games. Immortals Phoenix Rising. I really enjoyed that. I just played that last year. Prince of Persia Lost Crown. I cannot wait to play that game. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Looks fun. It's a very pretty game. That's right, the Far Cry games. I've only played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, but that's another one. That's the Far Cry games are popular, and I have nothing against them. I am going to be playing Far Cry Primal. Carl convinced me to play it, so that'll be the only like main line, although it is a spinoff. But that'll be the only main line. No, that's not true, because I will be playing Far Cry 3 as well. So those will be the two main line Far Cry games I played. Oh, that's right. The South Park RPGs were both published by Ubisoft as well.
Did I hear Far Cry or South Park?
I mentioned both because Far Cry is published by Ubisoft and the South Park RPGs are also published by Ubisoft. So
there's a lot of games I forgot that was done by Ubisoft, like Watch Dogs.
Yeah, that was the next one here is the Watch Dogs games. I'm going to be playing 1 and 2. I'm not planning on playing the third one, but I'm going to be playing 1 and 2. Yeah, all the Splinter Cell games. Outland.
I didn't realize there's 6 Far Cry. I didn't realize there was that many Far Cries.
That's just the mainline games because there's also Blood Dragon and there's also Far Cry Primal and there's actually as I was mentioning the Trials games. There's also Trials of the Blood Dragon.
Did you we talked about Rainbow Six? Did you do Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas 1 and 2. Those games were excellent. Okay. Ghost Recon. I've played Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. That was very close to a 360 launch title. It came out early on, and then Wildlands, which was not that long ago. Played that one. That one was great. I have Breakpoint, but I haven't really. I've got the first achievement in it in order to put it on my tag and be like, I will play this at some point. I haven't played it yet though, but I am looking forward to playing that since they changed it, because when they first announced Breakpoint and it was basically going to be another Division because everything had gear scores. I'm like, if I wanted gear scores, I'd go play Division. And then they actually made it an optional so you could play it like a proper Ghost Recon game. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll buy it now. So I'm looking forward to playing it.
Don't want to bombard you with questions, but a couple things. So what are your thoughts? So back to kind of Assassin's Creed, because Shadows, I had heard.
Oh,
what are your...
So this might answer your question. I've 100%ed all the Assassin's Creed games from the original up through Unity. I have almost all the achievements in Syndicate, with the exception of like 4 or 5, because I should have them all, but I got screwed by some glitchiness. And so the next one I have to play is Origins. So I've put about 10 hours into Origins. I've started Odyssey, where I've gotten a couple of achievements. I've also started Valhalla, where I've got the first achievement, and Mirage as well. I don't have Shadows. I will play it at some point eventually, but like Outlaws and Starfield, it may be many years till I get to it.
I tell you what, Valhalla, I've started playing Valhalla. I forgot to mention, great game, but boy howdy, it's hard to beat Black Flag. And if there's any game as of right now within the Assassin's Creed line that I think compares to Black Flag, in my opinion, is Rogue. You mentioned that it's underrated, which is crazy to me, because it's like the amount of customization that the greatest thing that I enjoyed out of Black Flag was the sailing the sea update. The sailing, upgrading your ship, and kind of like the grind and whatnot to do that. But like Rogue takes it to a completely different level. As far as I feel like, as far as there's more customization that you can do. Well, customization is probably not the right word, but there's more add-ons to the ship. Like there's more weapons and whatnot you can do. And I just think Rogue's fantastic. But Valhalla, it's also up there with, I think it's going to be a really great game. And I say that as I'm slowly progressing through playing it.
So one of the reasons why I think Rogue kind of fell by the wayside is because it basically came out at the exact same time as Unity, and Rogue was
Okay.
360 only, and Unity was Xbox One only. Although Rogue also came out on PlayStation, but Rogue was PS3 and Unity was PS4. So
Interesting.
Unity was, they both came out like at the exact same time. But Unity was on the newer console, and with how broken it was at launch, Rogue just kind of got overshadowed.
Yeah,
but it was a good game. I liked Rogue a lot. So,
and then the next thing, Prince of Persia. I'm not too familiar with it, but there's quite a few. Have you played all the Prince of Persia games?
The only Prince of Persia game I have played is Prince of Persia 2008, which was like a cel-shaded standalone, like soft reboot, from what I understand. And a lot of people were like not fans of it. I don't know anything about the Prince of Persia franchise. I enjoyed it. I mean, I played it back in like when it was new-ish, so it's been over 15 years since I played it, but I remember enjoying it. But I'm excited for Prince of Persia Lost Crown, not because it's a Prince of Persia game, but because it's a really good looking Metroidvania, and it looks like it's got great combat and great platforming. And I played the demo and absolutely loved it. So, and I've heard nothing but good things. So the reason why I'm looking forward to that is because it's a Metroidvania, which is my favorite genre, and it looks and plays great. And I often mention on my streams, because so many Metroidvanias now are pixel art games. So if not that there's anything wrong with that, but if we get a 2D Metroidvania that's not pixel art, that's automatically like a bonus point in my book. So the fact that it looks so pretty is also, it doesn't have to have the Prince of Persia name on it at all.
It just
I don't care about that at all. It's just the gameplay, and the gameplay all looks great, and it just happens to be a Prince of Persia game.
Man, this is like a road of nostalgia. Like, and I had no idea. Some of these games I didn't know Ubisoft did. Like Watch Dogs, had no idea Watch Dogs was Ubisoft.
I knew that. I just haven't played them yet.
Yeah. Far Cry Primal. I wonder if that was... Okay, that was 2016.
Oh, one that I forgot about, also in the Tom Clancy line. I've only played the first one, but the Hawks ones, which are the fighter jet games. I played the first one. That was a lot of fun. Blazing Angels Squadrons of World War II was similar to that, but took place in World War II. That was an early 360 game, and that was a great game. I didn't realize that was published by Ubisoft.
I don't even want, I just kind of, just for fun, just typed in like top Ubisoft games, and Game Rant shows up, and I don't know how accurate Game Rant is or how reputable their website is, but
I would take it with anything they say with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I want to know who's coming up with these, because right off the bat they have Scott Pilgrim versus the World at number 25. So I don't know how.
I've heard that's a good game. I've never even seen the movie, much less played the game. So I don't know.
Game though, you've heard?
I've heard from a lot of people that it's a good game. One of my, I've heard, that's a good beat 'em up, from what I hear. But
stand corrected then.
If I had to pick a favorite Ubisoft franchise, it would probably be Splinter Cell. I love Splinter Cell, and like we were saying earlier, Blacklist was the last one, and it came out in 2013. So it's been 12 years since we've gotten a Splinter Cell game, and Sam Fisher's been in plenty of games since then. Basically every Ubisoft franchise except his own. So it's been kind of slap in the face.
Do you think they'll do another Splinter Cell?
So they say they're working on a Splinter Cell, like the first one, a remake of it. It's like, I don't want a remake. I want a new Splinter Cell game.
Yeah.
But we talked about this on the most recent episode of Party Chat last week. Is we talked about games that we would love to see get a remaster or a remake. What I would love to see is I would give almost anything to get a remastered collection of the original 3 Splinter Cells, because
I agree.
So I played Splinter Cells. Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, and Chaos Theory on PC. And the original Splinter Cell was a console exclusive to Xbox for a while, and then it came to other consoles.
Yeah. Sad day, dark day when that happened, because I'm like, you just sold your soul to make more money. But
the first Splinter Cell I played on console was Double Agent, which is probably my least favorite game in the franchise.
Okay, yeah.
Not that it's bad. It's just like the lowest of a series.
Well,
of
when
great
you're
games.
you compare it to like Chaos Theory, which in my opinion, that's by far probably my
Hands
favorite.
down, Chaos Theory is the best Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
but
hard to
I liked Conviction and I liked Blacklist a lot too.
yeah.
It's a very different formula because it's more of an action game than it is a
Yeah.
stealth game. I like the way what they did with it, anyways.
You can't, but yeah, you can't have Splinter Cell. Like that's the whole thing in my mind. Like Splinter Cell's not an action. It's not an action game. Like it's absolutely self. Like you can take the route and you can play, I guess, like out in the open. But like the whole premise of the suit and the gameplay is like it's supposed to be stealth. Like
That's why one
so
of the things I loved about Blacklist is you get rated on how you play between the 3
yeah,
different play styles, which was really cool. However, there should have been 4 play styles
yeah,
because there's Assault, which is basically playing like a third-person shooter. You don't worry
right,
about alarms. You don't sneak around. You just throw grenades and shoot like crazy.
you're right.
Not how it's meant to be played, but if you want to, you can. And there's an achievement, I think, for beating the game in each of the 3 play styles. Then there's Panther. At least I'm pretty sure there was an achievement for each play style. And I did get all the achievements. I have all the achievements in Conviction and all the achievements in Blacklist. I don't have all the achievements in Double Agent because there were some achievements for multiplayer, and some of them were pretty tricky. So I never really bothered with the multiplayer that much, even though the multiplayer is pretty fun. The Spies versus Mercs.
Oh yeah,
That was a really cool thing, and that was very popular when they introduced it. I'm pretty sure they introduced it in Chaos Theory.
God,
but
such a great game.
but yeah, so that was Assault, and there's Panther, which is you're sneaking around but you're killing everyone. Then there's Ghost, where you're sneaking around but you're using non-lethal takedowns, so knocking people out. You're not killing anyone. What I think there should have been is either they could have made Ghost and Panther one playstyle, so it doesn't matter whether you kill them or not kill them, as long as and the one differentiator is that I think what should have been Ghost is you don't, like, you're in and out without anyone knowing you were there. You don't knock anyone out. You don't kill anyone. Like, you're literally like a ghost. No one knew you were there in the first place. And then Panther could have been either, kill, sneaking but kill, or sneaking and knock people out, or you could have combined the two, or you could have made that Panther and then added another play style for sneaking around and knocking people out, called, like, I don't know, like Wraith or Whisper or something, stealth like. So I think they should have 4 play styles, where what my version of Ghost would have been the hardest because you can't knock people out, you can't kill them, you just have to like avoid being detected.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned it, yeah, Conviction wasn't necessarily my favorite because he's in just regular. He doesn't have the suit. I remember playing Conviction.
It depends on what level you're in.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
I haven't
Conviction
played
kind of
Conviction.
changed up the gameplay style because it made it more of an action game, because that's where they introduced the mark and execute function.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, but it does make it less of a stealth game and more of an action game. So I like both versions of Splinter Cell, but Chaos Theory is still the best. But I haven't played
Blacklist
the first 3 Splinter Cells in forever, so I would love an excuse to go and play them again if they did a remastered collection of the first 3, because they did a collection of the first 3, but only on PlayStation. It never released on Xbox, which really grinds my gears because the original Splinter Cell was an Xbox exclusive for a while. So why didn't they release that collection on Xbox?
Sometimes it just that irritates me. Blacklist is iconic because always the poster. He's got kind of the curved blade.
Yeah, so the
knife, whatever it is.
Sam Fisher right there below me, that's from Blacklist.
Okay.
The person I had make this collection of characters for me, I didn't specify, so he just grabbed the most recent one. I should have specified from not Blacklist, but it's okay because
I'm assuming you would have gone Chaos Theory then.
Exactly.
Like, what's your favorite suit? Yeah.
God, but still, Blacklist is still a fun game. The biggest mark against it is that there's no Michael Ironside in it.
Yeah.
It's like, give us another Splinter Cell game while Michael Ironside is still alive, because he's in bad health.
Right.
He's not going to be with us all that much longer. So it's like, give us another one with him before he's not around to do it anymore.
And that's the thing that like irritates me with Ubisoft. It's like there's like this disc. I don't know if it's a disconnect. It's like you have really like I don't know. It's like you've got really great franchises that you could continue to build on. And I'm not talking about like, oh, just nostalgia and like kind of like this, like let's just do remakes. Like, no, I'm talking about like you said earlier, make a new game and get
They
the
made
original.
Shadows, but
Well, yeah,
they not exactly what
you
most people
give
were
us
asking for when they asked for a Japan Assassin's Creed.
yeah, give us something that
That's what
can
Ghost of Tsushima is.
right. Give us something that can somewhat compare, to like Chaos Theory or even freak. Yeah, I'd take a game that could compare to Pandora Tomorrow.
That's my least favorite of the original 3, but it's still a fun
Well,
game.
but it's I think, in my opinion, I enjoyed Pandora Tomorrow more than Conviction. But I think that's just because
That's
Conviction
an
was just a
interesting thought. Because I was saying it's my least favorite of the original 3, but between Conviction and Pandora Tomorrow, ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah. What would you go with? Conviction. It's hard because they're totally different in this sense.
Because at this point in time, I would probably say I would rather play Pandora Tomorrow, but that's just because I haven't played Pandora Tomorrow in probably close to 20 years. I played
Yeah, that's true.
Conviction maybe like 10 years ago, so it's
And that's
a
a
lot
really
more
good
recent.
Yeah, and that's a really good point they bring up because like I think you and I are very similar. We played these games when they first came out. And obviously I've played them over and over again throughout the years, but like this was like I said 20 years ago when I, was super into playing these games religiously. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see you do a playthrough. That'd be interesting if you did like a live stream, do a playthrough.
Yeah,
Of the old Splinter Cell.
if I played through either the whole franchise or I did Pandora Tomorrow and then
Yeah.
Conviction and then decided which one I'd rather replay,
Yeah.
that would be a better indicator.
Yeah.
Because right now I would say Pandora Tomorrow just because it's been so long since I played it. But if I had to say which one, based on your memory of both, which one would you rather play more for gameplay fun? I would probably say Conviction.
Which game did he take over Echelon? Was it Echelon 3? Echelon 5? What
Well, he was his like subdivision of the NSA is the third echelon.
the third Echelon.
Blacklist, because at the end of Conviction, the third echelon is like dismantled, but they secretly reinstate it as fourth echelon.
That okay.
So so similar to how Splinter Cell kind of took a different turn in gameplay style between Double Agent and Conviction. There was a huge shift in Assassin's Creed from from Syndicate to Origins, because it became these giant open-ended RPGs rather than a sandbox stealth game. So what between those two styles do you prefer, the more classic style of Assassin's Creed or the more open world RPG aspect?
Classic, I'd say.
Yeah, because there are people who are like, I'm all about the more classic style, and then there's people who are like, I love the RPG style. Like I said, I've only put about 8 or 10 hours or so into Origins, and it's not bad, but the fact that enemies have health bars and I can do an assassin, jump down and hit someone with my hidden blade and assassinate them, and then they get right back up because I didn't do enough damage is freaking stupid. So I'm more so in the vein of the classic as well. But that's just from the little I played of Origins. I am still going to play all of Origins. I'm going to 100% it. I'm going to 100% Odyssey. I'm going to 100% Valhalla. It'll just be a long time, because that's the other thing, is that they became these huge games, because Origins was like an 80-hour game, and then Odyssey's like 100 plus, and then Valhalla's like a 200-hour game. Whereas before that, they were like 30 to 40-hour games. So these huge time sinks are much harder to get into these days when you have so many other games to play.
Yeah. Good God. Like, I think we both. I'm definitely going to go back and play through the Splinter Cell games, because I just memory refresh. I had no idea that Lambert was killed.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, another one. Sorry if you haven't played it.
That was in Double Agent, and
which
you
I don't
get to make that choice on whether you do it or not. I forget. I'm assuming the fact, because I don't know which one is canon to the story.
I don't think Double Agent was. I could be wrong. I don't think it was canon. Don't quote me. Let's see
I
here.
thought the canon ending was that you keep Lambert alive, but I could be
Yes,
wrong. It's been a long time since I played it. But you do, because there is that was kind of the unique mechanic about Double Agent is you have this like slider, almost like a morality bar on,
Yeah, right.
like still being a spy for the NSA, or have you actually gone over to the terrorist group and forsaken your allies and you've gone full bad. So no matter how bad you are, like canonically, you still aren't fully with them, even if you make all the bad choices. It's in order to like say that he's still working for the NSA, but he has to maintain
Well,
his cover, so he has to do bad things sometimes. That's how you can like justify it. But he still never goes full evil
so
but
this is just off a quick Google search, but according to Google, canon events from version Xbox 360 and PS3, Lambert's fate. Irving Lambert says it's a canon. It's canon, which is crazy because
what's
if
canon that he died?
yeah, but that doesn't make sense. So because if you have the option to do it, wouldn't that negate it being? That's crazy to me. I disagree with that. I would say the whole Lambert's fate thing would not be canon because you can choose what you do. But I'm not also one to consider.
If that was the last game of the franchise, sure, but there were still 2 more games after that,
Right.
and if Lambert was in them, then obviously the canon ending was that he didn't get killed. But I don't remember if he was or wasn't in.
What two? So when did I guess?
Because if he's not, then it would mean that his death was canon.
When I see, I never considered Double Agent really like. When did that come out? When did it? What between games was it?
So Double Agent was the next one after Chaos Theory.
Okay.
Because all 3 of the first 3 Splinter Cell games were on original Xbox, and then Double Agent was on Double Agent was on 360. It had an original Xbox version as well, and I just found out with like a few months ago. I haven't played the Xbox version, like the original Xbox version of Double Agent, but from what I hear, the original Xbox version of Double Agent is drastically different than the 360 version. They're like 2 completely different games.
That tracks because there's a version.
And Double Agent came out on 360 in October of 2006.
Okay, so just from this search, so canon events from version 1, Lambert's fate is canon, but the non-canon events from version 2, which is PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and the Wii, Lambert's fate. Lambert lives and dies on a boat, and so yeah, that's interesting. So there's 2 versions of this game, then.
Yeah, from what I hear, the original Xbox version is very different than the 360 version. So I want to play it at some point. I just don't know when I ever will.
That's kind of hard to establish canon then if 2 games are different. It's like, well, which one is kind of, I don't want to say gospel, but which one is, I guess, more canon? Like, you can't have more canon than that. One has got to be canon and the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, this is great. I'm going down like just a nostalgia road of just these old games I used to play. I could always consider Double Agent the redheaded stepchild of the franchise, though. I like now that you think about it.
Same here.
Who takes who takes the cake though as far as Conviction? Well, you said that you enjoyed Conviction. I was going to say between Conviction and Double Agent, which is
I'd rather play Conviction than Double Agent.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the original 3, Chaos Theory is by far the best. Of the most recent 3, then I'd probably want to replay Blacklist out of the more recent 3 more than the most.
Would you say so? In the original 3, would you say Chaos Theory 1 and then Pandora Tomorrow, in like ranking?
So the original Splinter Cell trilogy for me is would be basically the exact same as the original Halo trilogy. The 3rd one is my favorite, then the 1st one, and then the 2nd one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so, I would agree with you on that. Was it? I think we both share kind of some animosity towards Pandora Tomorrow.
I wouldn't even say it's animosity; it's just my least favorite.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I don't hate it; it's just I don't like it as much as the other.
I don't think there's a game in that franchise other than Double Agent. And hate's a strong word. Like I would still play Double Agent, but Definitely my least favorite though.
Yeah. Same here.
Let's see.
So, let's see here. Oh, so I have 33 out of 38 achievements on Double Agent. I still have 5 more, and yeah, they're all. I have to reach the rank of officer and commander in multiplayer, and I have to get all the bronze, silver, and gold medals, and those are pretty
How
tricky.
hard is that on a scale of 1 to 10?
The rank ones for officer and commander aren't difficult. You just have to play multiplayer and get XP, and the better you do, the faster you'll get it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the multiplayer's dead, and you wouldn't be able to find anyone to play with unless you brought people with you and did a
somebody with
The medals, though, I don't even know what it is that's required to get the medal, so I couldn't even say. Just the rank ones are just easy. Just it would take a while. The medal ones, I don't even know what it takes to get those.
It's kind of like trying to find some. Well, people still play Star Wars Battlefront multiplayer. I mean, I watch YouTube videos where people are still modding that game. So, but maybe a little bit different than Splinter Cell. Though I would be shocked to see if anybody's still playing multiplayer.
Yeah, Double Agent. Because I would assume, because that was the last Splinter Cell that had multiplayer. Because Conviction and Blacklist didn't have. Well, Conviction and Blacklist didn't have versus; it only had co-op, and those co-op campaigns were fun because it wasn't this. It was an actual separate co-op campaign. It wasn't just like the single player with one other person. I'm pretty sure Double Agent was the last one that had the Spies versus Mercs mode, so it could still have players. But I would assume that if people are still playing, Splinter Cell games for Spies versus Mercs, they're probably playing it in Chaos Theory.
Yeah. That's a good point.
That would be my guess. I could be wrong about that, but that would just be my hunch. So, yeah.
Let's see here.
So we're at 2.5 hours now. So I'm happy to keep going if you are.
Well, is there any? No, I'm still good. Is there anything else you? I mean, we've covered Ubisoft.
I have a couple go-to questions that I usually go to, and I'll usually start off the stream with it, and that'll lead us to multi-hour conversation. So we were talking about, you started with Xbox with the original Xbox, but what did you start with in gaming? What got you into gaming in the first place?
Great. It was Counter-Strike. I remember at a friend's house after, because I didn't have a computer. Well, I had a computer, but my parents, we didn't have gaming. But I remember going to a friend's house playing Counter-Strike on the PC, and I don't know how far in between Counter-Strike when Counter-Strike came out and Halo came out, but he had an Xbox, and I remember his older brother had been playing. I didn't know what Halo was at the time, but I knew that he was playing the game, and I just fell in love with it. I was like, it was just something I can't even describe what kind of I don't want to say turned me on, but like what got me into it. But it was just the more that when his older brother left, that's when we were able to play. We would sneak in and we'd play, and the minute I got the controller in my hand and started playing Halo, I was hooked. And ever since then, I just became, that was the inception of kind of my that's what hooked me.
Okay, so you didn't really do a whole lot of gaming before the original Xbox.
No, I grew up playing. we had a Nintendo 64.
Okay.
I had for a point in time I had GameCube. So like Nintendo 64s, GoldenEye, obviously. Perfect Dark. I would say Perfect Dark was probably my favorite. Perfect Dark.
Yes, thank you.
Never got into Turok, but I heard fantastic things about Turok.
Turok was fun, but Perfect Dark is far better.
But Perfect bar none, man. Like if I had to choose, I would.
I wish you were on top 5 with me on Tuesday to help back me up because I was getting so much.
Oh, did people were giving you crap on Perfect Dark?
Because I'm Perfect Dark and GoldenEye. I love GoldenEye, but Perfect Dark is better in every way.
No, it is. It's bar none. It's far more.
So much crap about it, and I'm like, I need someone to back me up. So I wish you were there to back me up.
By far more superior, and that's not to say that I didn't love GoldenEye.
Exactly, and I reiterated that many times. Like GoldenEye was fun. I played the heck out of it, but Perfect Dark was better.
Yeah, people who say Perfect Dark wasn't better than GoldenEye or GoldenEye was better, like and you ask, like, they have to come up with a pretty good defense, and they can't. Because there's no, I mean, in my opinion, and there's no real defense. Like Perfect Dark is just, it's better in every aspect. It's
They
not
took
saying that
everything GoldenEye did and did it better.
they did, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just they made a better game. And people say, oh, well, you have a woman versus a man, and like, well, okay, is that the best you can come up with? Like,
Yeah, they made that point too, because as you see right there, I got Joanna Dark.
yeah,
because I freaking love Perfect Dark, and that was my first video game crush as well.
Oh yeah, so that was probably one of my favorite games on Nintendo 64. But I had
That was
growing up,
my number 2 when we did top 5 N64 games the other
What was
night.
your really, before I continue? What was your number 1? Just out of curiosity.
He's right underneath you.
Okay, Zelda.
Ocarina of Time.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say over Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask is great, but I like Ocarina of Time better.
So, okay, that's
I was. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure Dude's number 1 was Majora's Mask. Let me pull it up real quick.
Majora's Mask was.
That's yes.
For me,
Dude's number 1 was Majora's Mask.
I'm gonna have to start following you because you instantly won me over with Majora's Mask. But so obviously Nintendo 64 games. I had the Game Boys growing up. I had Game Boy Colors, so Pokemon, all this. So I had gamed, but when we talk about like actual and that's not to say Nintendo 64 wasn't a console, but when we got into like the console wars between PlayStation and Xbox, like Xbox what took me. But I also played PlayStation. I remember playing Rain Man. I played Spyro. I'm just not. I'm not this type of guy that's out here just talking crap on PlayStation and never had been exposed to PlayStation. Like I had played it growing up. I just think Xbox was a far superior console, and they had far better games. Like even I'd put Wolfenstein up against some of the games that PS5 or PlayStation has.
Okay, because when I asked how to usually preface it, like what got me into gaming is my grandparents got me Super Nintendo for Christmas in like 93 or 94. I don't know what year it was. I was a kid. But that's, what made me a gamer. So the fact that you were started like Counter-Strike on PC, I thought you were like significantly younger than me.
No.
So
yeah,
we're probably about the same age then. Would be my guess.
I think in gaming, obviously Snowboard Kids was for Nintendo 64. I had fond memories.
Someone mentioned that. I think Filter mentioned it.
Yeah. My dad and I just a family game. Like we grew up and we play that in the living room, and so
never played that one, but I
I loved it, but it's also nostalgia, right? Bomber, was it Bomberman?
Bomberman.
Bomberman.
That didn't debut on 3.
No. I
found out on Top 5 on Tuesday that there were 2 Bomberman games, or might have been 3 on N64. Because I played Bomberman 64 at my friend's house.
Yeah.
Dude informed us about Bomberman Hero because that was on his list. That was his number 3. I didn't even know that game existed.
Yeah. One of the things though that I still irritate to this day. So I loved Donkey Kong 64.
We talked about that one.
Loved it. I am livid to this day that Rare still owns the rights to this game, but they can't or they refuse to do a remake. Like I would be happy a remaster if they would just do. I would be fine with it, but I don't know why.
I don't know where because Rare is owned by Microsoft now. So I don't know who owns. I would think that Nintendo owns the rights to Donkey Kong. So Rare wouldn't be able to make a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, but you know how much money they both can make if they did. If Nintendo just gave them.
Can you imagine they do a DK64 remaster and it comes out on Xbox only?
Oh, that would be. I would go. Yeah,
that would be hilarious.
But
you'd go bananas.
Yeah. I would, and I haven't played the new Bonanza or whatever
I haven't either. I haven't played Tropical Freeze or Donkey Kong Country Returns yet, but I have them, and I'm going to be playing them soon.
But what's interesting about that, really quick, is so Rare owned the rights to Donkey Kong 64. Did that mean that they can't make any characters within that game?
I don't know the legality behind it, but I would put the fact that Nintendo owns the rights to Donkey Kong, not Rare.
Not Rare. Okay. Rare just owned the rights to Donkey Kong 64.
Rare developed it, but they didn't own
it. Okay. Yeah. So
because at the time, Rare was a Nintendo developer, but
Yeah.
Microsoft bought them. So I would be willing to put money on the fact that Nintendo owns the IP, even though Rare developed it.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think I mean, they've done remastering games from Nintendo is not necessarily unheard of. So like why not? Like you've pumped out all these Donkey Kong games. Like I bought a Donkey Kong Country, right, for the Switch. I think it was a remaster.
Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical
Yes.
Freeze were both Wii or Wii U games, and they've
Yeah.
been re-released on the Switch.
Right.
But those are because I actually just recently learned that, because I haven't, like I said, I haven't played them yet. That I thought Donkey Kong Country Returns was like a remaster of the first game. It's a sequel. So it's actually
really
the next game in the franchise after Donkey Kong 64. And then Tropical Freeze and then Bonanza.
People had told me that it was a remaster, so that's really interesting. But I mean, in the, like I say, either here nor there, but I'm just wondering why they wouldn't remaster. That'd be fantastic.
DK64 remaster would be great.
Or freaking port Perfect Dark to 360, man. Do a remastered. Get a little. And this is where I kind of like I love the graphics for
Perfect Dark was released on 360 on the Xbox Live Arcade.
Oh,
it was a port though; it wasn't a remaster.
Okay, and this is where I kind of like Perfect Dark's one of those games where it's like I almost don't want like a graphics pack. I don't know what you would call like a graphics package or like to like whatever they do to like, you know.
Oh, I would love to play it with like untouched, but like with a facelift with better graphics. I would love that.
Yeah. Oh God, I want to go play Perfect Dark.
Did you ever play Perfect Dark Zero?
No.
Okay.
Good or bad?
It got a lot of hate, but I liked it. It's nowhere near as good as the original, but kind of like Andromeda. Although I think people have a better mental image of Perfect Dark Zero than Andromeda, but a lot of people, people say it's a terrible game. It was okay. It was just nowhere near as good as the original.
Is it out of the? I think
it's actually a prequel, so it takes place before the N64 Perfect Dark.
I think I'll get the number wrong, but was there like 300 games released for 64?
Oh, how many games were ever released for Nintendo 64? I have no idea. That's a good question. How many games released on N64?
Because we're not even scratching the surface as far as like games, as far as 64. But Gex, did you ever play Gex? Is it? Gex?
I never played it.
This is I fond memories of playing Gex. Yeah,
you weren't too far off. It says 388 games on N64.
Okay, 388. Yeah,
I thought it was going to be way higher than that.
I said 300, but in my mind I was like, it's probably like 500 to watch. But
it wasn't. Too far off.
Did you when you did your top 5 games? Have you ever done the top 5 Nintendo 64, or did you do top games of all time?
No, Tuesday was top 5 N64 games.
I'll have to go back. Okay, I need to go back.
So if you like N64, definitely.
Oh yeah,
Filter was on there, so I won't spoil it.
I'm gonna. Yeah, no. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch the replay because I'm very curious.
It was a fun one.
Like, having this conversation now, I can only imagine. I could only guess what you would say, so I'm definitely gonna go catch the replay.
All right. So, my number 1 and number 2, but I won't tell you what my 3, 4, and 5 are.
Well, yeah, but I would have thought Majora's Mask, because I mean,
that's another thing is it's a self-imposed rule. People on the panel don't have to do it, but I typically try when we have an open-ended one like this. I try to do one per franchise.
Okay, yeah.
Majora's Mask probably would have been on my list if Ocarina of Time wasn't, but Ocarina of Time is my favorite Zelda game and in my top 10 games of all time.
What are your thoughts on Twilight Princess?
I have not played Twilight Princess Twilight Princess is my second favorite Zelda game.
Really? Oh, it's fantastic.
And it's like this close to Ocarina of Time. If let's see here. Our third ever episode of Top 5 was Zelda games. So if you want to hear us rank our Zelda games, you can go check that one out as well. And I've got playlists for Party Chat and Top 5. So you can just go to the Top 5 playlist and you can go and see all the topics we've done.
Yeah, I'll have to kind of filter through and I definitely want to watch those. But
it was Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom I have not played yet.
Okay.
But Twilight Princess, I love that almost as much as I love Ocarina of Time.
So really quick then, what did it for you? Is it just because Ocarina of Time just OG? What pushed Ocarina of Time above Twilight Princess for you?
That's a good question. Because it was already my favorite, back in the day. So
yeah, so it's hard to say. It's like I can't have a new favorite. I guess you could, but
so well, the whole debacle, I guess is the best way to put it, behind Wind Waker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't looking forward to Wind Waker at all. It's not a bad game. It's just it's not up there in my list of great
Right.
Zelda games. So Twilight Princess was the sequel to Ocarina of Time that I had been waiting for, that Wind Waker was supposed to be. So when that got announced, it's like, yes, this is the Zelda I've been waiting for. In my opinion, if they had reversed the order and Twilight Princess came out and then Wind Waker came out, I think a lot more people would have had a better reception to Wind Waker,
because it got a lot of hate.
It didn't. Nintendo really shot themselves in the foot though, because when they showed the reveal of the next Zelda at Space World 2000, and for the next Zelda on GameCube, and it was Link and Ganon fighting this like dark castle. Do you know what I'm talking about?
At where did they release it again?
It was at Space World 2000.
I don't remember seeing that.
You've probably seen the footage, but it was like the first tease of the next Zelda after Majora's Mask, for the next generation, because it was gonna be on GameCube, and it looked like amazing. It was this dark castle, and Link and Ganon squared up with their swords. And then the next year, 2001, they revealed Wind Waker. And it's like, what the hell is this? This isn't what you showed us last year. This is a complete departure. So the fact that they showed that and then switched, they just made like such a hard left turn from what they had revealed. If they hadn't revealed it to look like that at Space World 2000, and then they showed Wind Waker, that would have had a better reception. Or if their 2000 Space World revealed had been this bright, colorful, cartoony look rather than this dark, gritty, mature look, it would have been better received. So it's kind of on them that they revealed one Zelda and then made a hard pivot in another direction. And the next year they showed off something completely
It's
different.
almost deceiving.
Yeah. So basically that's almost their own fault of its poor reception. But yeah, I will be playing Wind Waker again, because I haven't played it in forever. I think I played through it once and that was it. But now that GameCube has retro achievements, I'll be playing Wind Waker at some point for retro achievements. But
are there so outside those three, the Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild, and Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, are there any ones that you've not played?
So Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are the mainline newer ones I haven't played. I haven't played classic original Zelda or Zelda 2. And my plan is to play them this year, because
NES versions?
Yeah, the NES ones. I've never played them before. But the reason why I went back and played like the classic Metroids, and why I went back and played Donkey Kong Countries 1, 2, and 3 just earlier this year, is because Carl and Angry Canadian and I have a challenge, a year-long challenge going. You get bonus points for playing multiple games in a franchise.
Yeah.
And if you play like the original version rather than a remake or remaster, you get additional bonus points.
Oh,
so
interesting.
That's why I went back and did Metroids 1 and 2. And I'm currently in Metroid Prime 3, and I've been doing those all on Metroidvania Monday. So those are all on stream as well. But I did Donkey Kong Countries 1, 2, and 3. So Donkey Kong 64 is what I have up next, but I haven't actually started it yet. And then once I do that, I'll be doing Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze that I've never played before. So I'll be doing those for the first time. I want to get through a bunch of the Zelda games.
Yeah.
But I need to start, in order to get the most bonus points, I need to do 1 and 2, and then Link's Awakening, and then Ocarina of Time, and then Majora's Mask, and then Twilight Princess. So I don't know, I doubt I'll get through all of those before the end of the year. But that's the goal. And then there's the sub-franchise of the handheld game. So I started with Link's Awakening, because that was the first handheld Zelda. So next up is Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
I saw it. Yeah, those back in 2001. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Is it for the Game Boy Color?
Game Boy Color, yep.
Yeah.
So Link's Awakening is actually what got me into Zelda in the first place. But I haven't, so of the mainline ones, I haven't played the first 2 and I haven't played the last 2. But I played Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think they botched Skyward Sword? Or did you enjoy it?
So I'm not a big fan of Skyward Sword, but it's for different reasons than most people who hate on it. From what I hear, the Switch version of Skyward Sword, so Skyward Sword HD, alleviates most, if not all, of the issues I had with it.
Okay.
I haven't played it, and I may play it eventually, but it'll probably be a very long time because the next time I play Skyward Sword will be once Wii gets retro achievement support. I'll be playing it for retro achievements, but I'll be playing the original Wii version, not the HD
I was going to say,
version.
it is a Wii version originally, right? Okay.
Yes, Skyward Sword was a Wii, and then it was also ported to Wii U, I believe. As Dude said a few minutes ago, Donkey Kong 64 was released on the Wii U Virtual Console, so I did not know that. But of the handhelds, I played Link's Awakening. I played Oracle of Ages. I never got to play Oracle of Seasons or Minish Cap. So I'll be playing Oracle of Seasons and Minish Cap for the first time. I played Phantom Hourglass, but I never played Spirit Tracks.
Okay. And then what? Triforce Heroes. That was for 3DS, right? I'm just looking this up. I don't remember Triforce Heroes.
And Link Between Worlds. That was a 3DS game, and I never had a 3DS, so I've never played Link Between Worlds. I think Triforce Heroes was also a 3DS game.
Yeah.
But I can't say for certain off the top of my head.
What is Echoes of Wisdom? I don't remember.
Oh, that's the most recent Zelda game. That came out on Switch like a year ago. And that's when we actually play as Zelda. I haven't played that one yet either.
I didn't even know that came out. I thought Tears of the Kingdom was the last one.
No, I completely forgot about Echoes of Wisdom. I heard it doesn't run great. So it probably plays a lot better on Switch 2 than Switch 1.
Probably. And they probably, I would assume, fixed that. But
and you were correct. Triforce Heroes was a 3DS game.
Okay. Seems like one of the greatest.
Kind of a spin-off, though. I wouldn't say that's one of the like mainline games.
I didn't think it was. I wasn't familiar with it, but some of these Zelda games, I like Phantom Hourglass, Phantom
Hourglass was a DS game.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't familiar with that, but it seems like the biggest debate within like Zelda, and maybe this is just subjective, but it's like, what is the greatest game? And it usually people say Majora's Mask with Ocarina of Time. That's why I asked you. And that's why and everybody I talk to, it's like everybody has their, I don't know if it's split down the middle, but
I would say in Zelda, like relating it to Assassin's Creed, I would say Majora's Mask is kind of like Rogue, and it's the like underrated gem of the franchise. That it's a great game, but not a lot. I've not heard many people say that it's their favorite.
Damn, see, it's a hill I'll die on. I think it's just, I mean, like to each his own, but
it's a good game. I love it. It's just I like Ocarina of Time better.
But I don't remember. I don't know if I ever finished Ocarina of Time, so I should probably go back and play it. But I still think even if I played it, it's kind of like what we talked about before the show, like Stargate and I guess you in Atlantis.
One in Atlantis.
Yeah.
It's like, how can it outdo it?
Yeah, it's like, how can Ocarina of Time outdo Majora's Mask? But
because that question kind of got brought up on Top 5 the other night when I saw about Ocarina of Time. Because I do love Majora's Mask, but some of the things that I like about Ocarina of Time better is kind of like just the flow of the game. Like Majora's Mask is basically you got your 4 segments of the map, your compass directions, and there's only 4 dungeons. Whereas Ocarina of Time, you got 3 child dungeons, and then you become an adult, which was mind blowing, and then you have 5 adult dungeons with the side dungeons like under the well. You go back as a child and do that, and then the ice cavern. So like, I don't know if it's technically a longer game, but it feels like it, and I just like the length. Majora's Mask felt too short to me.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate on Majora's Mask because of the whole time loop mechanic. I thought it was really interesting. They did a lot of good stuff with it.
Oh yeah.
But always being on a timer and having that that kind of nagging at the back is like, hurry up, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. There's no time to rest and wait is another thing that puts it below Ocarina of Time for me.
Yeah.
I just
kind of like a
I like the world of Ocarina of Time better than Majora's Mask because Majora's Mask is, even though the entire game it takes place as a kid, whereas Ocarina of Time it takes place as a kid and an adult. Majora's Mask is more of like a darker, more mature Zelda.
Yeah.
And I think like that's why I like colorfulness of Ocarina of Time better than the more darker tone of Majora's Mask.
When did you watch Tears of the Kingdom trailer when it came out?
I've seen trailers for it.
Okay. Did you? And I've not played it, so this isn't. I don't think I'm spoiling anything, but there was a scene where I think whatever they released, I forget when they released it, but there where you saw the skeleton in the basement of a dungeon. It looked like with the blue hair. Did you see this trailer?
Probably, but I don't remember it.
Okay. One of the things when I first saw it, I was like, "That's Ganon. That's got to be Ganon," but I didn't at the time. People were like, "No, it's not Ganon. It can't be Ganon."
A skeleton with blue hair? That definitely doesn't sound like him.
So let's see if I can find it. Maybe not the blue hair, but he was. Let's see this.
But yeah, I do know that he is the big bad of Breath of the Wild. I don't know about Tears of the Kingdom though.
No, I just started. Well, that's what's crazy about Breath of the Wild. Somebody like the amount of gameplay hours just to do like the main missions. Like
that's another thing. Like I like the kind of like Assassin's Creed, how with the Origins it went kind of in a new direction where it became this more open-ended RPG.
Yeah,
and that's one of the reasons why and they became super long games. Is I haven't been terribly compelled to play them, as I like the more confinedness of the original games. It's not confined because it's still kind of like open world games, but they're not these huge giant open world games. Same thing with Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild are now these super open, huge giant time sinks. You don't have dungeons anymore. You have shrines. And one of the biggest things it's got going against me in my book, even though I haven't played it, is the weapon durability. And you got constantly having to build weapons and cook food and stuff. It's like they've totally changed like what Zelda is, even though they've been the highest selling Zelda game, so people love it. But most of the people that I've talked to are not big fans of the direction they've taken it. It's like
you gotta
why can't you have like go ahead and keep making Zeldas like this, but why can't we also have Zeldas that play more like the classic ones? You can have two separate types of games in the same franchise. Why not?
Or like you got to freaking
both crowds.
You got horse hunt to get a horse, and like I just recently started playing Breath of the Wild, and I'm probably maybe less than 10 hours into the game. But what's interesting though for Majora's Mask, so it says Majora's Mask takes about 21.5 to 25 hours to complete the main story, while 100% completion is playthrough can take up to 33 to 39. So I'm curious how long Ocarina of Time was, because you said Majora's Mask felt shorter.
Yes, it felt like it to me.
And I don't know if that's a decent amount of time. I don't know if that's a decent amount of time for a Zelda game, but
I'm curious now. I'm gonna pull it up on how long to beat, because they're usually pretty good.
It says approximately 26 to 37 hours to complete the main story, and 100% of the game with averages to 33 to 37 hours.
Yeah, how long to beat? It says Ocarina of Time main story 27 and completionist at 38. Majora's Mask is 21 and a half main story to 33 completionist. So yeah, they have it listed as shorter as well.
Yeah.
Not by much though.
No, but that's interesting. You go from 21 to 35 to 26 to 37. So,
and then let me look up Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, watch that be like 82 hours.
Main story 60 hours. Although that's not too bad, because that's about how long it took to beat Twilight Princess. Completionist 248 hours.
Good. That's what it was. So like to fully go through it.
Let me see Twilight Princess.
I'm curious.
Story. 37. Oh, completion is 55 and a half, because I basically did. I haven't played for retro achievements yet, but the first time I played through it, I did as much as I could. And because I think Twilight Princess was also the first Zelda game that showed you your time played. And I was about 60 hours when I beat it the first time.
Do you think they'll ever port it over to the Switch?
So there's Twilight Princess HD. Is that a Wii U game? What is this?
I didn't have
it is Wii U.
Yeah, naturally.
So they should port it to Switch. I know it's one of the ones that most people, like one of the number one games that people are clamoring for to port to the Switch is Twilight Princess.
I thought they were going to do
it
good
reason.
Switch too. I would have thought that they would have
perfect chance to.
Yeah, but no, we just got a new Mario Kart, which I know obviously don't have a Switch 2, so I haven't played it, but some people say it's great. So, but I would rather, like, if they did that though, kind of like what you talked about earlier, like if with Prime 4, or Metro Prime 4, if
there's no reason they couldn't do it on Switch and Switch 2. The Switch has plenty of power to do a remake of a Wii game.
But let's say, for sake of argument, let's say, oh well, no, it can only be for Switch 2. I would go out and buy Switch 2. That's how much I love Twilight Princess.
That would also be a great motivator to get me to get a Switch 2. If they did a Twilight Princess HD 2 for Switch 2 only.
Yeah.
But it is hard to go and play that one because I'm still looking forward to playing Twilight Princess for retro achievements.
Yeah.
And no, Nintendo doesn't have any achievements. So that's Dude and I are in the same boat where a lot of these newer Nintendo games is like we want to play, but the fact that they don't have any achievements or retro achievements yet is a big negative. So him and I are both in the same boat where like Skyward Sword, the next time I'm playing Skyward Sword is once I can play for retro achievements. Basically, that'll probably be the first time I get I play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is when I can play it for retro achievements, and that'll be way down the line.
So really quick, what is retro achievement? What's the difference between just like your regular achievements and then retro achievements?
Great question. So, dude says the Switch is the first Nintendo home console that hasn't gotten Twilight Princess because it was on GameCube, Wii, and Wii U, but it's not on Switch yet.
Yeah.
So retro achievements is because, like we were talking about earlier on Xbox, the introduction of achievements was the 360, and it was imposed by Microsoft that every game released had to have achievements. There was rules to it, and the developers program achievements into the game. Nintendo has never had that, even to this day. But like PlayStation basically did the same thing, but with trophies. Although early PS3 games didn't have trophies, it wasn't until a year or so into PS3 that games started having trophies. But anyways, a group of just gamers like you and I created retro achievements, and it's completely run by the community, and they go in and create achievement sets for all sorts of games. So if you were to go to retro achievements, you can go and see all the platforms that are supported. Not every game on each platform has achievements because, like I said, it's all community run. But you can go and you can play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and NES, Super NES, N64, GameCube, DS, PS1, PS2, PSP, Atari 2600, 2800, Atari Jaguar, Genesis, Game Gear, Sega CD, Sega 32, Saturn, Dreamcast. All these old consoles, games for them have retro achievement sets that you can go and play those games again for achievements. So that's dude got me into it because he's developed a bunch of achievement sets for games on retro achievements. And so it's breathed new life into old games. So not only am I looking forward to playing, all the games that I have in my backlog on Xbox, I now have a huge backlog of retro games that I want to go play again from my childhood now that I can play them for achievements.
Interesting. So they're both equally are they both equally important, or is one more funner than the other?
So, like, because I only learned about retro achievements, because retro achievements, correct me if I'm wrong, dude, but I think it started around 2012, 2013. I only found out about it when dude told me about it, so I signed up basically as soon as he told me about it, and that was in December of 2023. So I've been on there for about a year and a half now, and I have 1,700 achievements on retro achievements. But because I've been doing Xbox since almost day one, I got my 360 in February of 2006. It came out in November of 2005, so I got it about 4 months after it came out. And like I said, I'm almost at 24,000 achievements on Xbox, so I have a lot more. But this has been breathing new life into old games.
Right.
So I've only played. Let's see here. How many games have I played on retro achievements so far? I've played 34 games on retro achievements so far, but I have a backlog of like 300 games that I want to play.
Right.
So it kind of just depends because most of my retro achievement I play here on my Retroid Pocket Flip.
Okay.
And this is this runs on Android because you can't do it on your actual hardware. It has to be all through emulator. So it's all emulated.
Interesting. So is it
for now? They're working on hardware that you can actually play your classic games on your original hardware and get retro achievements. I saw an article about it a couple weeks ago. I haven't looked into it much since, but they are working on a way to do it on original hardware. I prefer the emulation way anyways, but there's two things. There's softcore achievements, there's hardcore achievements. In my book, if it's not hardcore, it doesn't count because the hardcore is basically like playing it on your original hardware for the most part because you don't have all the modern conveniences of emulation of like save states and stuff. The only thing that you have on hardcore, because all the other features are disabled, the only other thing you can do that you can't do on original hardware is speed it up, which helps with monotonous things like getting through dialogue or traversing like across long distances when you're just like doing nothing. So that's really the only difference. You can play and use those modern conveniences, but you have to be on softcore, and it differentiates the two. But every one of my achievements is on hardcore. If it's not hardcore in my book, it doesn't count. So
hopefully I'm understanding this right. So retro achievements are not done by the developer; they're done by who are they created?
It's all by community. So if you go and
that's really nice.
So you can go and find a game that doesn't have an achievement set, and you have to go through their process to become a developer for achievements. But once you do that, you can go and be like, oh, this game doesn't have an achievement set. I'm going to go and create one. And so, and that's one of the things I want to do at some point. Is I
was going to ask you, do you do it, or do you have plans to try to do it?
I want to at some point. Dude has dude got me into it because he hasn't developed any achievement sets in a long time, but he developed a bunch of them. And I'm pulling up his profile right now because it tells me exactly how many he's doing. He's developed 36 achievement sets, and he did like the original Zelda. He did the original Donkey Kong Countries on Super Nintendo, Link's Awakening on Game Boy. So I've played a few of his achievement sets now.
What does that process look like? Like, how do you become somebody who can?
Better question for Dude, but I did look into it, and you have to there's a process you have to go through.
Right.
And
it's like you're certified,
what's considered a junior developer. And after you've done enough as a junior developer, you can become a senior developer, and you have different things you aren't allowed to do as different levels.
Right. Is this through a certain company, or just through the community? Like
just all through the community.
Okay. Like no board of directors. It's just you kind of follow the protocol and whatnot.
Yeah. So if they don't like you, like the whatever the board is, the people at the top, they can take away your rights or
that's almost stuff, so. Then retro achievements should, I guess, in a sense, be the way to go then. Yeah, because it's all based on, because who knows better than the community,
exactly.
Right?
And I've made this point on it might have been open mic last week, but Angry Canadian is we're on very opposite sides because he's like he gives me crap for hunting achievements, and I'm like, if you're playing a game without achievements, are you really even playing the game?
Right.
And he's like, oh, retro achievements don't count. It's like, no, retro achievements count more than actual achievements, because retro achievements, if you have a game like, there's plenty of some of these older games have been ported to newer consoles and have achievements from whoever's ported them, like Night Dive or Aspire have ported a bunch of old games. Right. And a lot of those achievement sets are like super easy. So 9 times out of 10, if you have a game that's been ported to a modern console and has an achievement set on Xbox or PlayStation, and you have the same classic game that has retro achievements, 9 times out of 10, the retro achievement set is going to be far more difficult than the modern one.
Well, yeah, but like to that point, it's like you have if you have somebody that I don't even know how I want to put it. If you have somebody who their expertise is a certain field, then they're going to know that best. But like, who's to say that these developers who are more concerned about developing a game, like
or
you just
porting one in this case,
or porting one, they may not know how to best create an achievement.
Exactly. That's why really a perfect example of that is Doom 64 is on Xbox, and the achievements, you can get them all in like an hour or two. It's super easy. But the Doom 64 retro achievement set is way more difficult, because on the Xbox version, you can use the cheats to get all, like the in-game cheats to get all the achievements. So you can just like jump straight to the level you need to and do whatever you need to in that level with like invincibility on and get the achievement. Right. Doom 64 retro achievement set, you can't do that. You got to do it like legit. So it's way more difficult. It's a much more legitimate achievement set than the Doom 64 on Xbox is.
I think from just a game, and this is, I'm just bringing a perspective that's not, it's different because I'm not on the same level as like you or Fracture as far as gaming goes. But I think retro achievements needs to be the way to go, and they should carry more weight than any that should be a badge of honor and pride.
Exactly. And that's why Canadians like retro achievements don't really count. I'm like, they count more than real achievements.
No, because they would be, because they could be harder than your regular achievement, because nobody who loves achievements is going to make an easy achievement like that. That's stupid. That makes no sense. Why would you do it? There's no point, right? Exactly. But if you create an achievement that, I don't know, it's hard, then there's a sense of pride that comes with achieving that. Like, that should be the whole point of achievement. It's like it took me, whether it took you 3 hours or 6 hours or like whatever it is, like if you had to grind harder than anybody else to achieve something, then like in my mind that I'd say screw achievements and go the retro achievement route.
There's some of my retro achievements. I'm more proud of those than like 99% of my Xbox achievements.
Right. Now,
so, yeah, exactly.
That's interesting. So in the world of gaming, really quick, or the community of gaming, is there more of a bias towards retro achievements versus just regular like who where does the line, where does the whatever the meter, I guess, tilt to?
That you were already touching on it, because like retro achievements, most people don't even know it exists. It really needs to be out there more so that people can know about it. So I often mention it to even my Xbox friends, and a lot of them didn't even know it existed, because like on your profile it shows you your rank, your site rank out of how many. So it shows you how many people there are. There's only 108,000 people on retro achievements, and that's it's been growing faster because it only hit 100,000 maybe like a month ago or so. And it's been around for over a decade. So it's slowly growing, but it deserves way more credit than it has, because so many people don't even know about it.
So how do you change that? How do you move the needle?
That is a great question.
Because again, I would say in my mind, I would say I wouldn't worry about achievements. I would the challenge. It would appear that there's more of a challenge within the retro achievements, if that makes sense. So there should be a more of a focus in my mind on that than just regular achievements. But again, I'm coming from a totally different non-bias, I guess, perspective.
Yeah, so catching up here, dude's chimed in a little bit. He says the process for becoming a developer was way different now than when he started, a decade ago. So since I found it right when it was starting, so he's probably not even sure what it was. I was looking into it because I am interested in developing a couple achievement sets. So I want to at some point. I just don't know when I will ever get around to doing that, but I do want to. But yeah, I was looking into it. And you can go on there on Retro Achievement. I don't remember what page it is, but it's got it all laid out on what it takes to become a developer. And he says the problem, basically answering your question is like, why isn't it bigger? He says the problem with Retro Achievements become popular is that Nintendo will start to notice, because you know how what's a great way to put it? How corporate they can be about literally anything that's close to them. But the thing is, even though it's all through emulation, they don't promote piracy at all. Piracy is very frowned upon, because there are 100% completely legal ways to do emulation, and there's nothing Nintendo can really do about that.
Are you saying they would try to go against it because they wouldn't have a monopoly on it?
Essentially, I mean, most of Nintendo has the most support on retro achievements, but there's also PlayStation, Sega, and Atari, so there are other platforms as well.
But you're not altering the game.
But I guess the number one most played game on retro achievements is Super Mario World. It has like 87,000 players out of the 108,000 players on the site.
So what does the emulation do? I guess, is that just lets you play old games?
So in order to do it, you can do almost all of it through one emulator. It's called RetroArch. So basically, the two things you need to do retro achievements is you need a retro achievement account. So you would go to retro achievements and sign up for an account. If you do, go ahead and follow me, and I'll follow you back. I'm NerdyNeo, easy to find. It's got my logo. So you need a retro achievement account, and then the RetroArch emulator, which you can download. Has a link to it at the top of the RetroArch page. And once you download it and install it, then you just need to go into settings, and there's a setting for achievements, and you just plug in your username and password for retro achievements, and that's all you need to do for being able to play for retro achievements. And then you just play your ROMs, which are your digitally ripped versions of the games that you have, and then as long as you're signed in, you'll unlock the achievements. And every time you launch a game, it'll pop up saying, basically indicating that it recognizes this game. It says, Super Mario World, you have 0 out of 78 achievements, or however many you have out of however many the game has. And then as you go along and play through the game, every time you get an achievement, it'll pop up and showing you what the achievement was. And then if you go on the website, you can refresh it and you'll see your achievement on the page. The only thing that there's 2 consoles, though, that you need something other than RetroArch in order to get retro achievements. So GameCube is not done through retro achievement. That is done through the Dolphin emulator. But same thing, you just download the Dolphin emulator and go to settings and put in your retro achievement username and password. And then the other one is the PS2 emulator is not in the PS1. You can emulate in RetroArch and get retro achievements, but for PS2, you need the PSX2 emulator. So if you wanted to emulate every game that's available on retro achievements, you need 3 emulators: RetroArch, PSX2, and Dolphin, and you have all of them.
But you don't need like a piece of equipment. Like the emulator is not a piece of equipment. It's just
it's all software.
Software. Yeah.
Okay. And where the legality comes in is the emulators are completely legal. It's how you acquire the ROMs, which are the digital versions of the games. That's where the legality comes in.
Interesting.
Because the completely legal way to do it is to basically take your games that you own and download that information onto your computer as a ROM. And there are ways to do that. For cartridges, of course, you need special equipment to do that. For disc-based consoles like Wii and PlayStation stuff, it's much easier since our PCs have disc trays. But for consoles and stuff with cartridges, it's much more difficult since you need specialized equipment.
Is that specialized equipment illegal to obtain?
No.
Or can you? No. Okay.
So that's the completely legal way to do emulation. So that's why like sharing of ROMs and downloading ROMs offline is frowned upon, because that's the illegal way to do it.
I see.
That
makes sense.
Since I don't have all of the equipment to do it, for me personally, it's like if I own the game, just because I don't have a way to download the game itself to my hard drive, I don't, I'll go and download the game off of a ROM site. I own I own the actual game. I just don't have the way to transfer it to my PC. So, in my head, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm almost, and I could do research on my own, but this equipment that you need for like the cartridges, I would assume is either one, hard to find, or they're pretty pricey.
I have not actually looked into the pricing of those pieces of equipment, so I wouldn't think that they're too expensive, but I don't know.
Yeah,
dude has it all because he downloads all of his, because he's got a huge.
So you can essentially
himself.
If you kept all of your Game Boy games, your Game Boy Color games, if you had that piece of equipment, you could play those games again through emulation.
Yeah, and get retro achievements for them, assuming that the game has a retro achievement set.
Because, is there a way to,
like, one of the games that I have, Game Boy Color game, is R-Type DX. R-Type DX does not have a retro achievement set, so I can play it through the emulation, but I won't get any achievements for it. But if someone was to write an achievement set for it and I was to play it, then the achievements would unlock.
That was going to be my next question. So is there a way that you can request a game have a set of retro achievements?
Yes. So any game that does not have a retro achievement set, there's a button where you can say request achievement set.
Okay.
But you have to earn those requests. So right now I have a total of 7 that I can use. And you earn them by playing more games. So like every 2,500 points, you because just like regular achievements, every achievement you unlock has a point value associated with it. And every 2,500 points or 5,000 or something like that, you get an additional set request. And you get one for every year you've been on the site. So every year you'll get another one. There's a couple other ways to get it, but you earn more set requests. So dude has 30 or 40 of them because he's been on for so long. I only have 7 because I've only been doing it for a little bit of time. But you could, if you change your mind, you can go withdraw your request and you can go put it towards another game. And that's the way that they gauge interest on games that don't have achievement sets, to be like, hey, this one has a lot of set requests on it, so these are probably the ones that are most likely to get set requests.
I'm assuming this is probably all nonprofit. So if you get a set, you request the game have retro achievements. Somebody I don't know if it's a vote, they go to a vote, or if you just request it, then
it's just a developer will be like, could look through all the games that it could look at all the games that have set requests and then organize by which one has the most and kind of look at the list and be like, I want to make a list for make an achievement set for that specific game, and they'll go and develop it.
Well, in my mind, every game should have retro achievements in.
I agree.
Well, at least every game that's has a popularity of, I'll stand by what I said. I think every game should have a retro achievement because
at some point, every game on here may have an achievement set. One thing that's really annoying though is for games like because GameCube just got support last summer, and a lot of games because PS2 has been on the site for a while, and there's a lot of games that are on both. So a lot of these games don't have an achievement set on GameCube, but they do on PS2, and so they're not as likely to get one on GameCube. It's like I want them on GameCube because that was the game console I had. I didn't have PS2, so I want to play the game on GameCube, but it only has an achievement set on PS2.
Right. You mentioned that so each game that's developed, the developer has to include achievements. Is that like a law of the land, or?
Well, I mean, not every game ever has. There could be games that never get achievement sets. But if you're developing achievements, then you wouldn't be developing achievements and then not putting any achievements in the game. So
right. I just didn't know if like every game that's created, they have to have a certain amount of achievements in it. But I guess my question would be if the developers that are developing these games catch wind, theoretically, of retro achievements, can they say, "Oh, well, you know what?
We're not the actual developers of the game."
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were talking about the retro achievement developers.
No. Like the actual people who are making the game, if they caught wind of these retro achievements, can they just say, "Okay, well, since retro achievements are creating, are getting more popular, we just won't even worry about doing achievements ourselves"? Are they held by law to like? Law is probably not the right word.
I don't know about PlayStation. I would assume so, but I know on Xbox, every game that's released
has to
have Xbox because it's like terms of service. Like
right.
But some games the developers are like, I don't care, so they'll just make up a random set of achievements just to fulfill the requirement. They don't really give a crap about it. So that's where retro achievements, like if that game ever gets a retro achievement set, then those achievements will probably be better than what the original developer came up with.
Okay, that makes sense.
But as far as I know, no game that's ever been released originally with achievements has been on retro achievements. It's all been on stuff, this is all older stuff before achievements
were a thing. Okay, so this would be anything that predates 360.
Yeah, so because like GameCube didn't have any sort of achievement system. Wii didn't have achievements. Original Xbox didn't have achievements. Original Xbox will get achievement support at some point, but we don't know when because they're still working on the Xbox emulator and getting it stable enough. Like once we get past Xbox and we get to 360, because like I said, every 360 game and since has had achievements.
Right.
It's very unlikely they'll continue with doing retro achievements for games that already had achievements built in.
I see.
At that point, it would make more sense to focus on just doing Nintendo consoles because no Nintendo console has ever had achievements built in.
But what about the Xbox games that like the achievements, like to your point, like they're like just rushed to fulfill an order? What if they sucked really, really bad? Do you think then they would, or they would get more bang for their buck?
Got retro achievement support. So let's say there is an Xbox 360 emulator in the future that gets retro achievement support. They would very well be within their rights, so to speak, that they could be like, you know what, I'm going to go and develop an achievement set for this game, even though it originally had one. So if there was support for the console, the achievement developers absolutely could go and do it if they wanted to. But it would be dependent on whether the console would get support. And would 360 ever get retro achievement support? I don't know.
No, but that's a really good point. But I guess in my mind, my bias is like because I'm so bought into the retro achievement realm right now. I would think I would want every game to have that because again, who can create an achievement better than the community that loves and chases achievements? So, but. To your point,
people are like, I hate achievements. It's like, well, then just play the game and ignore the achievements. But for people who like the achievements, why not have them?
Right. But it's not like this isn't like. I'm curious. There's no way to find this out, but I would like to think that it's maybe split down the middle. Like just because if there's 50% of people who just want to play the game, there could be 50% of people who want achievements. Like, just this isn't like a majority versus minority. Like, I think, you know what I mean? I think there probably a good amount of people that would rather go after achievements than play the game. I don't know if that makes sense.
Achievement, achievement hunting is still in the grand scheme of how many gamers there are out there, is still a pretty niche community.
Is it? Okay. Now,
but I agree. If every game had an achievement set, that's a 2 thumbs up in my book.
Right.
Because if people don't care about them, they can just ignore them. But then people who like achievements have something else to go for and another incentive to play games that they may not have played otherwise.
Well, true. And it gives you more. Well, it gives you more incentive to. Well, I don't know if incentive is the right word, but it's like you get more bang for your buck out of the game. Like, okay, fine, you beat the game, great. You beat the story. Did you get all the achievements? No. Okay, well, what about retro achievements? Well, that's kind of what we talked about. If the game already has achievements, that probably won't have retro achievements. But if you, I don't know. If you played the game, great, but why not get the achievements and get more time out of the game, I guess. I don't know.
For me, I love having something that I can show, that not just say that I did it. I have something to show for it. Be like, so you can go and see that I played it and I got, I 100% of this game that didn't have achievements back in the day. So
it's a badge of honor. It's like,
I have proof.
Right. It's like, oh yeah, I beat every achievement. Like, okay, did you really? Oh yeah, I did. It's like, well, like, what's your proof? Oh, well, I don't need proof. Yeah. Versus like, oh no, here's my achievement sheet, or here's my, I don't know how you catalog that. I'm sure maybe the game will tell you, or 360 would give you the little the when you got an achievement on the 360, it popped up, right?
Yeah, and it pops up on RetroArch as well.
Okay,
It's just viewing your achievements on RetroArch is a little cumbersome. So when you unlock an achievement, it's better to go to Retro Achievement to look at it rather than do it on whatever you're playing it on.
Yeah,
because on RetroArch, you can only look at the achievements of the game you're currently playing. You can't see all of your retro achievements. You'd have to go to Retro Achievement's website to look at all the games you played.
But that's still legit. That it tells you every kind of category categorizes it.
Yeah, it categorizes it. So I can see right now that I've played 34 games. I've beaten 18. I've mastered 10, and I have 6 that I haven't beaten the story for yet.
Just on the RetroArch.
Just on Retro Achievements.
Or Retro Achievements. Okay.
Yeah, and so it's got lots of. It's not quite as robust as something like True Achievements, which is for Xbox achievements.
Yeah.
But it's pretty darn good for just a community-run website, and
so how would you
by the community?
How would you sell that? Like, so you're an achievement hunter, right? And you recently, I don't know recently, but you're into the retro achievements. How do you sell and push retro achievements to the achievement community? People that are just solely focused on getting the achievements from the developers who develop the game, if that makes sense.
Just a second. I don't know if he's still here, but dude said I just realized what time it is, so have a good night. I don't know if you're still there, dude, but have a good night. And thanks for hanging out with us as we dived deep into retro achievements. So, and again, thank you for introducing me to them. So, and before we get back into it, he also said that you can hack a Retron 5 and you can use that to rip most of your cartridges from NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, and Game Boy. And I pulled it up on Amazon, and it's about $160. So it's not too bad.
No, that's not
I'd
really
heard of a Retron, but I'd never actually pulled it up to see what it looked like until just now.
The question is, how do you hack the Retron?
I'm sure it's pretty easy. There's probably like YouTube videos on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a good question.
I mean, $106 is that's not
160.
Bad. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 160. Still not bad.
Still not too bad, because if it was like it only works for like one console, but it works for a bunch of them. So on Amazon, it says Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, original Game Boy, Super Nintendo, original NES, Famicom, Super Famicom, which was the Japanese versions of the Super Nintendo and NES, the Genesis, the Mega Drive, and the Sega Master System. So it covers all of those in one. So that's not too bad. But yeah, how to hack it, I would have to look into that. I don't know. So, and he says that there are some PS2 and GameCube games supported on Retro Achievement that were on 360. Yeah. Like Xbox Live Arcade games and stuff. So, but back to your question. I'm not quite sure I fully understand what you were trying to ask.
So yeah, so if you have a community of people that are all about achievements on games, how can you push retro achievements? How can you get retro achievements to a level of same importance as like achieving, if that makes sense?
Oh, like Xbox achievements.
Yeah. Like if you have people that like I'm all about achievements, how do you sell retro achievements? How do you get people to go after that? If that I don't know if that makes sense.
On the player side, if you're
Yeah,
interested
that's
in
what I
retro
mean. Yeah.
achievements, that's pretty easy. Just tell them kind of everything I've been talking to you about.
Yeah.
But like on the like developer side, you know, PlayStation's already got the trophies and Xbox already has achievements. So really the only holdout is Nintendo. So
Right.
you'd have to convince Nintendo to put achievements in their games, and I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Why do you think that is? Just too much work?
I don't know. It's just Nintendo being Nintendo because Nintendo's probably the most. If you're to put Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft and ask, a random assortment of people, let's just say mostly casual gamers. It doesn't necessarily have to be hardcore, but it could include hardcore gamers. But if you were to ask a random assortment of gamers in general, which company do you have like the best mental image of? I would say probably like 90% of people are going to say Nintendo.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they use some of the worst business practices, they don't port games that people want to modern consoles. Yeah. They DMCA strike everyone that does even like 2 seconds of Nintendo music. They don't want people streaming their games. They shut down any type of emulator that they can legally. They don't.
Very protective of their IP.
They make the dumbest decisions, but they still have, the biggest simps, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to get them to implement it because if they implemented achievements from the get-go, I would be playing a lot more Nintendo games over the last decade than I have.
Right.
I probably would have played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom if they had achievements from the developers, but since they don't, I probably won't play those until they have retro achievements, and who knows how long it'll be till that happens because we still have, Wii U, and then Switch. So that could be a decade from now. Who knows?
Yeah, no, you bring up a really good point. I had this overwhelming feeling that they're just super protective of their IP, and I just don't think
too much so.
And I just don't think they would ever do it. Which, and again, I think part of it, I think is like for whatever reason, I think they want and need to have to stand out from like the competitors. Maybe they don't need to because they already do, but I don't know. It's like, well, Xbox was the first to do it. PlayStation then followed. We can't have this image of we're going to follow what these other two companies are doing, so we're just not going to do achievements.
That could be. Although there are some, I do know that a couple of Switch games have achievements within the game, but obviously it's not like platform wide, so there's no way to like really track it. The only one that I've played is Mega Man Battle Network because I'm a big fan of Mega Man.
Yeah,
and I have all the collections on Xbox because that's my platform of choice, except the Mega Man Battle Network collection because it's been released everywhere except Xbox. But all the other Mega Man collections are on Xbox except the Battle Network collection. So I bought that one on Switch. It's like, what harm is it in porting that one to Xbox as well?
Yeah.
So when I do get around to playing those, I'll be playing for retro achievements, not on my Switch because I got nothing to show for it because I can't even show my Mega Man Battle Network collection achievements except for when I'm on the game in my own Switch. I can't even show it on my profile or anything. But when I play the original Game Boy Advance version on retro achievements, I can show people, hey, I played this game and I've got the retro achievements to show. But if it was on Xbox, I could play it on Xbox and then it'd be on my Xbox profile. Because that's my, if a game exists on Xbox, that's where I'm going to play it first. So that if it doesn't, that's when I'll go to like Steam. But obviously for older games like this, then I'm happy to play it on retro achievements.
Nintendo really just irritates me. If you like, the more I think about it, like just lazy or just they don't give the people what they want. And it's like,
They do,
but
and they don't.
Well, yeah, but it's like,
it's
but they have the strongest following. Well, that might be subjective, but I do know that they like you said earlier, they got a lot of sense out there.
Switch came close to passing PS2 for most sold console of all time,
That's insane.
and for good reason. But yeah. So, anything else we would like to know about retro achievements?
No, I think I appreciate you spending the amount of time that you did on it because I had no idea what it was. But I'm glad that you did because I'm going to now be pushing hard for.
If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them for you. My co-host on Party Chat, Ryan, keeps talking about getting into retro achievements as well, and I'm like, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you get situated whenever you want. He hasn't asked me yet, but last open mic from last week, we were intending to get into the weeds of retro achievements, but we didn't actually get into it. So I'm gonna timestamp it and I'm gonna send it to him. Be like, here's everything I wanted to talk about last week that we didn't have time to talk about. So I wasn't planning on talking about it tonight, but I'm glad that you asked about it and we were able to get into it. But another thing is not only do games get retro achievement support, but there's different categories as well. So there's like retail, and that's the biggest one. But there are like homebrews and demos, and people will develop achievement sets for demos of games that came out back in the day, or people have released games that they basically programmed it as if it was going. It's basically like a game that was going to come out like on a Super Nintendo, but it wasn't released by any company. Is like someone who built the game on their own computer and released it as like a Super Nintendo game. And those are called homebrews. And so there are homebrews that have achievement sets. And I'm sure you know about ROM hacks.
Yeah. ROM hacks, yeah.
Okay. So there are tons of ROM hacks that have achievement sets as well. So I haven't played very many of them, but I have been compiling a huge list of ROM hacks that I'm also going to be playing for retro achievements. So out of my let's see here. Let me pull up my because you can additionally on every game on retro achievement, there's a little button in the top right that says I want to play, and then it'll add it to your want to play list. So you can go to your want to play page and see all the games that you want to play. And I have just under 400 games on my want to play list for retro achievements. And let's see here. Almost 100 of them are ROM hacks. So I've got
just a few games.
And basically all the ROM hacks I have are ROM hacks for Donkey Kong Country games, Mega Man games, Zelda games, and Metroid games. So I'm very much looking forward to playing a lot of these ROM hacks for retro achievements as well. So that we did get into that last week on Open Mic a little bit about ROM hacks because I've known they exist for a long time, but I've never really gotten into them. I now have I've played a couple of them, but I have a huge list of ones that I want to play. So I've really been diving into the ROM hacks. So I'm looking forward to playing a lot of these. That all in addition to retro achievements breathing new life into old games, ROM hacks that have retro achievements also breathe new life into old games.
Which is what's needed. Because honestly, old games I don't know. I'm of the mindset where it's very rare do I think we get good games nowadays. I'm not saying we don't, but when you compare to like the games of old,
it's far from the glory days of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Honestly, every game was a banger.
Oh, not every,
I
would take the worst game.
There were more good games than bad games back then, and now it's the other way around. I would take the worst game in like the 2000s and would probably much rather play it than the games that we're getting now. Yeah. Of course, talking about like the big guys, like the indie games, there's lots of good stuff coming out of indie developers. But yeah, your big name developers, just so much bad stuff and broken on release and takes years for it to be in a playable state. Like Assassin's Creed Unity was broken on launch, took a while for that to get fixed. Mass Effect Andromeda was not in good shape. Some of the biggest failures on launch were Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky. Now those are both considered great games. Haven't played them yet, but I will be playing them.
Right.
So it's like, but how many years did it take till they became great games? So, yeah. So, you have any question about retro achievements? I will do whatever I can to help answer them. I'm still kind of an amateur at it, but I'm pretty well versed in it these days. So, the more people on retro achievements, the better. I'm always looking for people to add to my friends list and see what they're playing.
You know, I've never been an achievement guy, but I think that maybe retro achievements could be something that could get people into achievements, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So no worries if you don't want to put it out there, but I'd love to add you on my Xbox friend list.
Yeah.
If you don't want to say your gamer tag, that's fine. But this is mine right here, XNeo21X. So
yeah. So I'll have to. So I do have. It's. I got to get because there's a bunch of numbers. So long story short, my gamer tag is Leche Master, but I tried to do Leche Master 69 off of the Avengers and
Avengers,
or not. I'm sorry, not Avengers. It was was it Thor? It's where Thor's talking to the kid. And he's like, I'll rip your arms off and shove them up your butt. But his gamer tag was Leche Master 69.
Oh, that was Endgame.
Endgame, yeah. Okay, so I tried to do
Fat Thor.
Yeah,
yeah. So I tried to Fortnite.
Yes. So I tried to do Leche Master 69. And Microsoft, they said it was copyrighted by Disney.
What?
So by Marvel, and I couldn't do it. So
you can't copyright a gamer tag.
Yeah, I promise you, that's what it.
That's a load of crap.
Yeah, Microsoft. I say came up. It said you can't choose this because it's copyrighted by Marvel or something like that. So I will. It's JHitman 187, but or I'm sorry, not J. It's Leche Master, but I'll have to get you the ending because there's like 5 or 6 numbers.
Oh, okay.
So add me.
I will absolutely add you on Xbox, and then I'm NerdyNeo on Retro Achievement, so I'm easy.
Clan tag is Milk Master, but it's M1LK Master. Leche Master.
M1LK.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, did you try getting Leche Master and maybe like replacing like the E with a 3 or something?
No, but that's actually freaking brilliant. And I don't know why I didn't do that.
You could probably do something like that. Switch up the letters a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe type out 69 instead of doing the number 69.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen plenty of people who have 69 in their gamer tags. That probably should be fine.
Well, I was like, come on, Marvel. Like, you can't copyright its name.
Yeah, that's garbage. But you could probably try finagling it with some different letters and numbers and stuff in order to get that gamer tag.
I have to say, the reason why I love this gamer tag is that nothing brings me more joy than playing Call of Duty, because you have the kill cam and you can hear, like 3 or 4 seconds after you kill somebody. But right. All I hear, when I kill somebody is, and then it cuts off. But other people will say leech. They'll call me leech. I was like, that's not leech. Like,
that's Leech, not Leche, you idiot.
Yes, it's Leche, not leech. I don't get mad anymore, but I used to get. It's like, it's Leche. Like, are you illiterate? Like, no, it's
no habla español.
Yeah, we'll leech off people. It's Leche. Yes, but I'll send it to you. I'll put it in Discord and add me, because I do want to. I think getting into achievements would be super fun. And there's just something after this conversation.
Add more to one of us.
Yeah.
Of us.
Like I said before, I knew nothing about it, but having this conversation, the retro achievements are super. It draws me in more than just the regular achievements. So, and I think you mentioned like a community, and I think that's awesome to have. Like, it's just a community of people who enjoy and love the same thing and want nothing but the best, right? There's not people out there that are just
sometimes to their detriment, in my opinion, because like I said, some of the Metroid games are a perfect example, because Metroid, is my second favorite franchise behind Mass Effect. But some of the achievements are just I hate that they made achievements for it and dude always gives me crap because like the developers of the game put these things in the game. So the developers or the retro achievement guys just made achievements for achieving those things. It's like they didn't have to though, but they chose to because like let me pull it up here real quick. Like Metroid Fusion is a perfect example. Where is Fusion? Metroid Fusion. So I've beaten the game. I've gotten the achievement for collecting 100% of the items in the game. I only have 60% of the achievements. And then where's Zero Mission? Basically the same thing with Zero Mission. Same thing. I've got 100% of the items in the game. I only have 49% of the achievements because both of those have achievements for like there's got like 10 achievements for like beat the game in under 5 hours, beat the game in under 2 hours, beat the game without dying, beat the game in under 2 hours and get all 100% of the items, and then beat the game in 2 hours, get all the items and don't die. So it's got all these like stupid hard requirements. It's like, yes, there is different endings in the game for doing that were in there from the developer. So they made achievements for those. The developers didn't have to do an achievement for something that's so stupid hard, but they chose to anyways. So I love those games, but even though I've got 100% of the in-game like collectibles and stuff, I only have like half the achievements because some of these achievements are like stupid hard.
Right.
So some games have like, in my opinion, that's not a great achievement set because it's like asking you to do like inhuman things to get all the achievements. I'm not asking for something that has to be super easy, but it should be a reasonable amount of difficulty to get 100%. So like Metroid Prime is a great example of, in my opinion, a great achievement set. So Metroid Prime was also my first mastery where I got all the achievements in a game. So there's basically, as expected, there's an achievement for basically each of the items you get throughout the game that allow you to progress, through the game. There's an achievement for basically getting all the different collectibles, and then there's achievements for like beating each of the bosses on hard mode as well. And then there's a couple. Then there's like a speedrun achievement for beating it under like 3.5 hours or something. So I thought that was just the right level of difficulty. But some of these like Metroid Fusion ones, we have to beat 100% under 2 hours without taking damage and stuff. It's like, that's stupid hard. I'll never get those.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. There's got to be there needs to be a fine line between, possible and impossible, I guess.
So there is one other thing. I did mention this on last week's open mic, but something I haven't mentioned tonight is there are also, in addition to like ROM hacks and stuff, some games have a subset for the real masochists. So if they're like, oh, I want to do an achievement set for this game for like the hardcore, the most hardcore of the hardcore, they can go and develop subsets for games for like beating a game in under 5 minutes without taking damage and playing blindfolded with one hand tied behind your back. Obviously, there's no way to actually program that, but that gets the point across of like some of these games have like stupid difficult subsets. And so if you want to, you can go and play the subset of stupid difficulty. So those, a lot of the times, those ridiculously hard achievements will be put in a subset, but sometimes they'll be in the main set. And stuff like that kind of annoys me. It's like those achievements should be in the subset, not in the main set.
It still needs to be enjoyable and attainable.
Yeah, agreed.
Unless you want to go the masochist route and like just be able to flaunt that you beat,
Well, that's the thing. You have that the subsets exist, so you can go and do that if you want to, but you don't have to, and you should still be able to get the mastery. But some of these games, like, nope, it was in the game by default, so I'm going to make an achievement for it, even if it's not typically humanly possible. So like Zero Mission has a total of 26,700 people have played Metroid Zero Mission, and the hardest achievement here, only 278 people have it, so it's 1%. It's complete the game with 15% of items collected or less on hard. It's like, that's never going to happen. The second one, the hardest one, is complete the mission with all items collected under 2 hours on hard difficulty. Never going to happen. So that stuff like that, in my opinion, should be in the subset, not in the main set. Oh, there's an even. That's right. They're not organized by hardest, easiest to hardest. So there's actually some achievements that are even less. Where'd it go? I just saw it. Oh, there it is. The least earned achievement in Zero Mission has 185 people who have earned it out of 26,758. And it's Escape Chozodia with at least a minute 55 remaining on the clock on hard difficulty.
Good night.
It doesn't sound that bad, but that is insanely difficult.
That sounds bad to me. That sounds hard, impossible.
Because most Metroid games have like an escape sequence at the end where you either have to like escape the planet, get back to your ship before the timer runs out, and you have to do it on hard with still basically 2 minutes left on the clock. How many minutes you start with, I'm not sure because I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's like that's going to be stupid hard. So that should have been a subset, but it's in the game, so they made an achievement for it. So you win some, you lose some. So, but I think that's kind of a good spot to call it a night. I'm getting a bit hungry, so I'm going to go eat some dinner. But JHitman, I'm so glad that we're finally able to make this happen.
Yeah.
I had a great time chatting with you tonight. I hope you did as well.
This was an amazing time. I'm glad that we were able to do it. So I look forward to hopefully doing it again.
Yep. Thank you for coming on. And open mic is just open for anyone to talk about video games. So if you ever want to come back on again, just let me know and we'll make it happen.
Absolutely.
I always say that, people, because some people are like, I don't feel right reaching out to people to ask them to be on the stream. It's like, no, if you want to come on and talk video games with me, let me know. This show, my open mic show, has been probably 5 or 6 different people's first time ever being on YouTube. So,
really?
Yeah. You saw Vanquish in chat earlier. That was the first. He was on open mic last year at some point. That was his first time ever being on YouTube. I don't know if he's been on anything since. But yeah, I've made a lot of friends here and introduced a lot of people. Do you know who BD Jake is?
No.
Okay. Well, he's been in a lot of places too, and open mic was his debut to YouTube, and he's become like co-host on a bunch of other people's shows now. And it is because I invited him on open mic, and that was the longest open mic ever. It was just under 6 hours the first time he came on because we had such a good conversation. And
that's
then
awesome.
After we ended the stream, we still ended up talking for like another 2 hours. And then he came back on a few months later for a part 2. And it wasn't as long, but we still had like a 4-hour one, probably about this long.
Yeah.
And I still have other stuff that I want to talk to him that we haven't gotten to talk about yet. So I want to get him on for a part 3 at some point. But his real life has gotten really hectic lately. So he hasn't been on YouTube as much. But I'm looking forward to having a part 3 with him whenever he's able to.
Got to beat the 6-hour mark.
So yeah, BD Jake is the one to beat, and he's had the most cumulative time on open mic, obviously beside myself, since I'm on every one. But he's, for guests anyways, he's the one who's had the most time. But I just love having people on and talking video games. That's why I started my channel. So I had a lot of fun chatting with you tonight. So
I did too, yeah.
With that, do you have anything that you want to plug?
Oh, you can just check, like you said, Fracture and I out on Saturday Night Sith every Saturday, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Got a big announcement coming up, so be sure you join in and listen. I think we'll have a good show. But yeah, that's it. And then sometimes, right now it's a little hectic with my schedule, but sometimes I will be joining Bloodbath on Mondays. So I forgot. I meant to give you copy about that as well. Just a second though, but go ahead and continue. Yeah, but that's those are the 2 places.
Sith on Fractured Filters channel on. Oh yeah. Did I get that right? Yeah. So dropping a link to Fractured channel anyone who doesn't know, JHitman here is co-host with Fractured Filter on Fractured's channel on Saturdays, doing Saturday Night Sith, and I'm usually there live, and if not, I always catch the replay because they talk about fun stuff over there. But I just dropped the link there in chat for Fractured channel. If you aren't, go give him a sub. And we are I just realized we're very close. He's at 358. I'm at 322. So he's only got me by about 30 subs right now. And he's had quite the lead on me because he had been on YouTube for probably a couple years before I started my channel. So I'm inching up
You're
on him.
catching. Yeah, you're inching.
So, but yeah, had a great time. So thanks for coming on. And yeah, if you ever want to come back on again and talk some more, just let me know. We'll make it happen.
Absolutely.
So for myself, let's see here. Let me go back to this week. I will be on Beelzehub tomorrow night at 11 o'clock Pacific over on Devil Maybe Do It's channel, Beelzehub. And I have no idea what we're going to be talking about, but it'll be fun. So I'll be back on Monday with some more Metroidvania Monday. It'll probably be a little bit later than normally. Since I normally do it around 3 o'clock Pacific, it'll probably be more like 6 o'clock Pacific. But I'm hoping I'll be able to finish Metroid Prime 3. I don't know if I'm close enough, so it may take one more stream after that. And then our next episode of Party Chat will be on Tuesday. And we will be having Rinsler on for our guest host. And he was just on open mic not too long ago. He was on open mic back on July 24th. So just about a month ago. And then Dude and I will be doing our next episode of Achievement Chasers next Thursday as we talk about our achievement hunting over the course of August. So, Hitman, if you want to hear all the achievements that Dude and I got over August, you can check out our Achievement Chasers. And I've got a playlist for all the episode of Achievement Chasers. If you ever feel compelled, you want to go listen to, what we played last July, you can go listen to last July's episode of Achievement Chasers, and we talk about our achievement hunting. So, but that'll do it for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us as we blabbered on about video games for almost 4 hours. You guys all have a good night, and we will see you later. And as always, in the meantime, game on.